All right, we are on special edition.
Yeah.
So you can, if you're watching the video, you might notice number one, new background for the sixth straight episode. Where we keep rotating to
We
be in the
promise you
sun.
new books and new backgrounds going forward.
Yeah, we have one of those two things today because there are no new books for
Nah.
the first time ever due to some scheduling conflicts. We're holding off on the next two books that we have ready till maybe next week.
Yeah.
But we decided to. I'll let you say. It was your idea.
Kind of just like a special episode here in terms of, we talked about doing it for a while. We talked about the chart paper a lot and really coming up and narrowing down like a top 10 and a bottom 10, which is interesting because we haven't, like 50's a lot, but to have a bottom 10, you're putting some in there and it's like you kind of are, you know, playing with like
Yeah.
the 3.7s versus the 3.5.
So basically, we each put together our top tens and our bottom tens independently. We have no idea what each other has picked, and we're gonna go put them on the board here. I think we decided we're gonna start with the top tens. Do we go like your 10, my 10, your 9, my 9, or do we go like my full 10 and then your full 10?
I think one at a time.
I
And,
agree.
and I think like if you start with 10 and I start with 10, and even if it's like six on my list, we circle it, it advances to it'll be in the top 10 and then it just becomes narrowing it down.
Should we like it might be better if we have no spoilers as we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think Sanctity, we should lock in our lists right now. Like no matter what happens, can't change it.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
You know, because I have been struggling with some of the rankings
Yeah,
and like flip flopping. I don't want to be. I don't want to have any chance to change this based on like what you ranked.
I
Like
agree.
bump one up or something to like more match yours. So I think it's locked in now.
Yeah,
We go just one by 10, 10, 9, 9. See what we have.
yeah,
Um, we go and you kind of say why it's in your top 10, why it's not higher, why it's not lower.
yeah,
Um, what reasoning you have for putting it there.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I agree. I had a hard time on the bottom 10 because I didn't have enough books,
yeah,
and a hard time on the top 10 because I had too many
yeah,
books I
I
wanted
agree.
to include. And also just like what makes a book a top 10 book for me was different than what makes a book a five-star book. Or what,
Yeah,
like the rating was different because I could have a five-star book that's not in my top 10, but it's still a five star.
yeah, I agree. And I think another thing with that is that when we read it and when we rated it, I think changes now that we've read 50 books rather than have read 10 books.
Right, like recency bias is big.
Yeah,
Are you going by like what's been most impactful?
yeah,
What did you enjoy reading the most? What did you enjoy talking about the most?
yeah.
What do you like remember the most?
And I think some ratings could change today
So I
on
think,
Goodreads. Like I think this has the
oh
potential,
shit.
to
Okay.
potentially change some ratings.
So I think, um, yeah, I think like what we each use to make our lists, like those criteria, are going to
Yeah.
be different. So that's going to be exciting to see how you thought about it. There's gonna be spoiler alerts on these books. So if you haven't read the
Yeah.
books and we spoil something up front, read the books,
Yeah.
listen to the episodes.
And then come back to the pod.
Yeah, I wrote down predictions of like where I think I'll have certain books versus you, and like if I think you'll have something higher than me or lower than me, or like something that's in the top 10 versus not.
Yeah.
So after I want to see if I was
Was
right
right.
on those
All
predictions.
right. I think without further
Um,
ado, let's dive in here.
Yeah,
You
I
want to
think
you want to start with your 10?
I'll start with my 10. I think just generally, um, if I'm being brutally honest, this is one of the best ideas we've ever had and it's your idea, so I'll
Uh,
give you full credit.
I mean, I'm pumped about it. Like, as soon as I texted it to you, I was just like, I actually can't wait to do that because we have talked about doing it for a while. And I know like Aubrion actually had the idea, like, you know how Spotify gives you like the end of the year stuff, whereas like your most watched music video, like whatever it is, like give you like a personal thing for like your year in review. And she was saying that the book club should
Mm,
do that.
cool.
But at the time, we were just grinding through books. We didn't really have a great
Yeah,
opportunity.
or was reading.
But now all of a sudden we got a nice little opportunity to do that. So this is kind of our year in review. Shout out to Abriana.
I like that a lot. And also, shout out to us for
Yeah.
reading all these books. Because if you asked me 2 years ago, hey, how's it going? If I would have thought I ever read one book in my life, I would have said no. And
Yeah.
now the fact that we're at like 60,
Yeah.
we can
Pretty
even
exciting.
do this is crazy. I've been pouring over this all week.
Yeah.
Every time Amy comes down, she's like, "I wish you put this much thought into just anything else in our life."
These are big decisions. And I
And
can't wait to
just, I've been just pulling my hair
uh,
out trying to
yeah.
get this right.
Because I do think we sway each other sometimes too. Like
Yeah,
I'll go in and before the discussion sometimes have a different opinion on the book than after the discussion.
for
Because
sure.
it's like sometimes you didn't even realize that
Yeah,
you maybe took as much as you did, or sometimes like I'm missing things, but then when you explain it, I'm like, oh, okay, that actually I actually do like that.
yeah. All right. So like, when you go, like, I'm not even gonna say like, "Oh, I had this book like here or there." Like, I don't want to
Okay.
give any spoilers
Okay.
because then it's gonna be like, "Holy shit! Like, what's coming next? What's coming next?"
So I will make a little note, I guess, on my thing just so we know. Like
Right. Like
the
after, like,
common
we'll
ones.
be able to see.
Put them in top 10
We'll say like what books are in both lists, what
list.
books are not.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll probably match on some, I would think. All right, so top 10. This is the fall side. Tough angle here. Number 10. I have. Oh. I guess we locked it in, so I'm not going to change it now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I have a question mark there.
Yeah.
We're going to lock it in here. For number 10 for me, Lost Connections by Johann Hari.
Wow.
I mean, if you remember, um, Lost Connections. I mean, this book was almost a 5 star for us. We were
Yeah.
so close to giving it five. Um, I battled with this one. Do I include it in my top 10? Should it be higher? One of the tougher books I had to rank against other stuff. It was like kind of recent, but I also kind of like forgot a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I remember just like when we were talking about it, like how much we liked this book
Yeah.
was insane.
I agree.
This is,
I think
it's gonna be insane for us too.
um I don't know what he's wheeling out, but hopefully our audio doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's not gonna be good. We
Yeah,
might have a situation.
I think I loved that book. I loved how, we talked about his own experience with depression and also like the impact that society has on like your happiness or your unhappiness. And I thought like the biggest thing I took away from that book was kind of the way he talks about advertising and how advertising has kind of like stripped people of their happiness because it's just
Yep.
like everything is advertised to you is like you need to have like nice clothes or you need to have this or you need to have that. You need to have, like things that you don't actually need. And then they kind of sell it in the way that it's going to bring you happiness and it doesn't.
It's like a good summary of like why is everyone so unhappy all the
Yeah.
time? Like so for me that one like so super informative. All the stuff on like brain chemistry, like oh your
Yeah.
brain like there is no real chemistry. They don't know what the right balance is. So they're
Yes.
giving you drugs to balance it. Like that doesn't mean anything. Like cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
No,
overall, for
totally.
me, I felt like I had to include it.
Totally
And
agree. It's a great book. So my number 10, this is also a bit of a shocker. I think number 10 kind of gives you that feeling of like you can put something in that like that isn't a 5-star book. Wasn't even that close to maybe being a 5-star book, although that one maybe was.
yeah.
But for me, number 10 is Industrial
Ah,
Society, I believe.
that's the Unabomber manifesto.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't fight you on that.
Really short, but I think like really unique in that just like his predictions for society of like when he wrote the book and how many of the things turned out to be true and how he didn't really seem like that much of a crazy person. Like I was actually almost hoping to listen to it and just be like, this guy's nuts.
Psycho, yeah,
Like if Charles Manson wrote a book, I would imagine that you wouldn't come out like reading it and being like, oh, this guy actually seems pretty normal.
for sure.
Like you would know like there's something really wrong with this guy's brain.
And
Like
I think
this
his
guy seemed
music, you could tell.
yeah,
Well, I
but
think
this
that
guy seemed like he kind of knew what he was talking about a little
he
bit.
was
Like,
literally predicted the future at like early 90s,
yeah,
maybe. I can't remember exactly when.
he was really saying like the uprising for like animal rights that was kind of currently going on when he wrote the book was going to switch to like gender equality stuff and transgender stuff. And like that was before like transgender was even like I don't even know what transgender was. Like
In the 90s, I wouldn't have
yeah,
known what it was. Now it's like a big deal, but
yeah,
he predicted that.
literally predicted that, which is like absurd. I would almost say that's like
He predicted all like the flow of how like social issues have changed over time, he predicted, and also how technology will play a role in that, and
yeah,
also kind of just like get to
destroy
where it is
society, yeah,
essentially today, where it's
which is
destroying society.
crazy.
So I don't want to tell you, where it is on my list,
Yeah,
but I have no red flags. I can't fight you on it.
okay,
That's a good pick.
thank you.
It's a good pick.
All right,
But it's
number nine.
interesting too, because it wasn't like, oh, this might be a 5 star.
No,
Um, and I think that we're gonna see a lot of that
I think it's what
as
you
we
said
go.
too. It's like you have to go back and see which books kind of withstood the test of time for you.
Right.
And you didn't have
Right.
kind of any idea that that book would at the time, but like that book really has, because that was a book from a while ago, and I'm still thinking about it, still talking about it.
You hear things on other podcasts or in other books, and you're like, "Oh, that's the Unabomber." Like
Yeah,
he called that,
yeah.
which it's big. All right, number 9. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna write an abbreviation, but "A Liberated Mind" by Stephen Hayes. And for me, this one is up there. And all of these, I've debated to till I was blue in the face.
Yeah,
This is up there on like impact for me in terms of like able to use a lot of the stuff in like your daily life. So it's like similar to some of the other books that we read. Um, just being able to take stuff out where it was like it gave you like little things you could do where it was like write out your biggest values in life. So like you might write out like or like you kind of rated them 1 to 10,
like family
like
and
family 10, like husband 10, father 10, friend 10, and then it's like work 1, whatever it might be. And then
yeah,
it's like, all right, now kind of do the same exercise and rank them with how much time you spend on each. And it's like, oh, well, work like 9, like
yeah,
family like 3. And it's like, hey, like, try to start thinking about shifting your life to like focus on the things that you value the most.
yeah,
Like a lot of those types of things are like really good takeaways for me in terms
yeah,
of like actually like keeping in my mind to like try to like improve as a person. So that's
yeah.
why
I
it
think
made it
that's really well said, and I think like a lot of these books that when you come up with a recommendation, a lot of times I feel like you're looking for the next liberated mind.
100%. That's 2 or 3, maybe even last podcast. I think I was exactly what I was trying to do.
Which like I feel maybe the same way about a different book in that genre, but I also feel like the book that I'm talking about, there is no other books like that book. So I don't even
Well,
look for it.
we might get to it.
Yeah. All right, so
See your number 9.
my number nine is Empire of Pain,
Nice.
which was a lore um recommendation.
One of the first we read.
Yeah, and I think that really kind of just gave her a lot of respect in the book club in terms of recommendations that we've done a bunch of her recommendations. It's crazy that, she's still looking for more and more recommendations. So we probably read like five or at
We're
least,
probably like 10% of our books are her
yeah, yeah,
recommendations.
which is a lot. And I think in large part because I wouldn't have ever come across Empire Pain. I don't think it would have really came onto our
Hmm.
radar. I think that it's such a good book club book. And I thought like the thing that I liked about it the most was like I remember talking to Laura afterwards, and she was like, if you could just get through like the first 10 hours, like the next 10 hours are great. And I was just like, at that point, I was like 8 hours into the first like 10 hours, and I was just like, I love it. It's like she was saying how it was like a negative that all they were talking about is art collection. It's like I love Ardmore Sacklers talking about Chinese art from the 1400s. Like I couldn't get enough of
It
that.
mattered to the full story, and it was also just interesting on its own.
Yeah,
Like, again, I mean, I don't know why we didn't give it 5 stars at the time, but it's like a perfect book.
yeah,
Like
I
maybe it
agree.
was a little long, but like there was never a point I was like trying to like forcing myself to listen or felt,
Yeah.
like I never wanted it to end.
But you know what it is for me that we didn't is we hadn't been in that genre of like real stories like the Nabisco and some of those other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
It's like we hadn't read those yet. So like that was kind of the first one that we read that was in that genre, and I thought it was more that I just like loved that genre of it's almost like a 30 for 30 type genre where it's like something you know about, but it like dives in behind the scenes into depths that you didn't know about, and it becomes like a totally different story.
Yep.
So, and like I thought I when we first read it, thought it was like this is a genre that we're gonna take advantage of, and like every book in this genre is gonna be that good. But then it's like, we did the RJ Nabisco and we did the this and we did the
Hmm.
that, and they're not all like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I agree. I think like had we done those first and then did that, I think we would have appreciated it even more.
100%. I think this book, whether we read it first or last, would have been like a top 10 quality
Yeah,
book.
it'll withstand the test.
It's just that good. There's so many
Yeah,
things I remember from it and still quote and
yeah,
cite to this day. Our wine's falling. Yeah. Should I go for eight?
yeah. Go for eight.
We got eight up here. Similar genre here, and I struggled with picking from like this kind of batch,
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go with Bad Blood.
I thought you might.
And I can't remember the author's names, but it's the story of Elizabeth Holmes and the Theranos kind
Yeah,
of scandal and the fake company that she started. And I mean, this one was just like it was fun, shocking,
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Like I kind of heard about the story,
Same.
and it
Yeah,
just getting that kind of in depth of how kind of blatantly she was lying about stuff and
yeah,
making things up. And they had these like frat guys working
yeah,
there, and like the whole thing was just crazy.
yeah.
And like it was just pure entertainment, but like informative. The guy who wrote it clearly did like a
Great
awesome
job. Yeah,
research job. He was able to communicate it clearly. Like some books we read where it's like serious research goes in, and then they have a harder time like
telling
kind
the
of
story.
telling the story and
Yeah,
making it like gripping. This one was like, locked in, just couldn't wait to keep going on it. Um, yeah, I think that's what I gotta say on Bad Blood.
yeah.
Number eight.
And that's gonna make it pretty easy for me. My number eight is Bad Blood.
Wow. A
So
direct lineup.
yeah, and I think that that's when that happens, when the stars align like that in book club, it's like I think we know number eight is gonna be Bad Blood. I
Yeah.
think we ranked that perfect.
I mean, I don't know what else you could say about Bad
Yeah,
Blood. It's just, it's that good. Like, very high up there on books I would recommend to like a wide number of people without like kind of being nervous about what they think about it.
yeah.
Um,
And so like this is where it gets really interesting for me because those three were 4-star books. And now, we had a bunch of 5-star books.
yeah,
So it's like those three were the hardest for me to do. Um, because you're picking from a big list of 4-star books. And we can kind of after the list go over some like honorable mentions and kind of see
that's
which ones you had in and I didn't.
that's exactly what I want to do. I
But
want to.
I thought those three were the hardest to place. Like those are the ones I struggle with the most.
I kind of went through and I created like a list of like all the potential candidates, and I was like,
Yeah,
what are the locks for the
me
top 10?
too.
I picked like
Yeah,
five or six,
me too.
and then I was like, okay, how do I fill out the bottom four?
Yeah,
And then it's just a matter of kind of tinkering with the rankings.
yeah,
But yeah, I think when we're done, we go through and it's like, this is what I was thinking about in terms of like how to place
yeah.
them against each other.
I
Because I
agree.
just don't want to give too many spoilers.
Yeah,
Although, um, should I go seven?
7.
This one, we'll see. Um, kind of have I was saying like Bad Blood, I'll recommend to just about anybody. This one I want to recommend, but I'd probably hesitate a bit. It's a little book I like to call The Rape of the Night King. Um, and again, like this was just literally crazy to me. The fact that everyone's not talking about this 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
24/7. Um, it's brutal. It's hard to get through in a good way. You
yeah,
can't believe it's real. The fact that I knew so little about it
yeah,
was crazy. Uh, I mean, I've used this as cocktail hour
yeah,
conversation at weddings, and
yeah,
it goes either good or bad.
yeah,
But I mean, goddamn, it's a good book.
yeah. No, I totally agree. I feel like as far as history books for us, the ones that we're trying to get to and the ones that we want going forward, I think that's like the gold standard. where it's like it takes one event and it gives it to you in like perfect detail, ton of research, doesn't overdo, doesn't cover too long of a time span.
That's
Like
big.
it's just I think that's like the poster child for history
Yeah.
books.
I also love that we're sharing one marker. I could have easily have grabbed two.
All right, my number seven, and this might be like weirdly a little bit low here, but I think it kind of fits, is Moth and the Iron Lung.
Really nice.
Yeah, and it's a 5 star, I
It's a
believe.
5 star.
Yeah, and deservingly so. I think that maybe the reason why it's not higher on the list is just that it fits into a criteria of our 50 books. I would say five of them have been vaccine books.
Yep.
And like not even on purpose. Like I think even for this one, like I don't even think we thought necessarily it was a vaccine book. And it kind of isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just like is more of like a history book that covers the topics of vaccines and polio and some of these other
Mm.
things. So it's like great book. I still remember a lot from it just in terms of like, they were like genetically modifying these like caterpillars, which is like just classic, repeat of
Yeah.
history. And then they
Yeah.
like escaped and then they caused like they were like eating all the plants and the farms and the crops and all that stuff. So they had to, spray everything with DDT, which we know is the literal poison. And, that was like a big cause of polio and the effects of it and all that stuff. So such a good book, such a unique book, but I think it'd be higher on the list if it wasn't one of five vaccine books. Um, like some of the other ones are just like
100%.
yeah, just like one-off books where it's like I've never even heard of another book on that topic.
Yeah. I mean, the whole backstory he gave of the one scientist with the what was it like? He had like the eggs, and he
Yeah.
was of the
And
moth
then like
things,
the
and they
wind.
blow out of the
Yeah.
wind, and he's trying to collect them, and
Yeah.
in his backyard, 'cause he
Doesn't get
knows
all of
he
them.
like knows in
Yeah.
real time what he just did
Yeah.
to the like shrubbery in the
Yeah.
area is insane and awesome. So yeah, that's one thing I struggled with in the rankings was like, is this part of like is this how do I judge this book on its own versus like one of like many vaccine
Yes.
books that we
Yes. That are
did?
all interesting. And it's like I think that's the thing, and it's why we did so many vaccine books is we almost couldn't get enough of it because you like can't believe that it's real.
Right. You're like, what? Like, how is this actually going on?
Like, how is this topic considered a conspiracy when like you actually do research on it, when you actually read the books on it? It's like the only conspiracy is that it's considered a conspiracy,
Yeah, I think that's
which is
exactly, I
absurd.
think that's how they do it. Number six, again, no, I can't be like, hey, like, no, those books shouldn't be on,
Yeah.
for you. Number six, a recent book, Creature from Jekyll Island. I'm just gonna write Jackal here. A tough angle. Um, I felt a little bit weird putting out such a recent book on it because I was like, is this recency bias? Am I putting it too high? And I just kept thinking about it like, this book was insane.
No, it's great.
Just
Yeah.
like I can't even watch the news or anything anymore because I'm like, it's all just fake because they're just printing money and
Yeah.
they're lending it to each other and the whole like understanding that workflow of
Yeah.
how government needs money, they issue debt, they literally just Federal
Yeah.
Reserve just buys it and it just goes around in a circle and they're just creating money.
Yeah.
It just changes everything else that's going on in the world. It's like, oh, it's that's what's happened.
Yeah. And
Mm.
especially now with like, the stock market started booming again. And typically prior to that book, I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, the war with Iran isn't even totally done yet. It just seems like it's headed in that direction. And even if it is totally done, why would the market be higher now than it was pre-war? It just doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense. And then it's like, well, it does make sense because we're going to spend a trillion dollars on the war, and
it just
instead of
goes into the
taxing
economy.
us
It's like,
more
hey,
money,
we need all this
yes,
money for the war. There's a
yes,
war going on, guys. We need to get
yeah.
all this money. We got to print it.
So now
We got to go
everything's
spend it. We got to buy it.
inflated,
Now everyone
yeah,
has this money. It goes into the market, and
and then the inflation just causes the prices to naturally rise. So it's just like, yeah, I mean,
stuff we learned in that book, I just thought was like really just spot on. Like I couldn't make
yeah,
an argument to like make it higher or lower. I was like really struggling with placement there.
totally. And you're not going to struggle as much now because you got it.
Nice.
Uh,
Okay.
don't know how to spell Jekyll,
I
but
mean, yeah, I see some letters there that might
yeah,
might match.
similar, you know, similar to how it should be spelled. But I just thought same thing you said. Like it's kind of a one-off book, and again, it kind of fits into that category of like I had a hard time with these two because they're
Hmm.
in the same genre,
Yeah,
but they're totally different books. And I think this is gets bumped up a spot because it's the first time I've ever heard that information, and
just
like
everyone should read that. I know it like sounds like it's gonna be boring, like a book about the Federal Reserve, but
yeah,
like if I like it's if I were to recommend a book that I thought was like important for everyone to read, that would be top three,
yeah.
probably. Maybe like top five. Um, all right.
Let's keep it moving, man.
Keep it
I
moving.
like what we're doing here. I think we're on a good pace.
I think so. I think it's going well.
I love sometimes like I'll listen to an episode and like we'll be like 18 minutes into the episode when we finish with the first book and I'm just like, oh my God, this is gonna be like a 35-minute episode. And then like we just go off on such tangents, partially because of the wine like starts hitting a little
For
bit,
sure.
partially because we just don't want, the in-person meetings to end, which is fair. But yeah, I just think like we have to go in a quicker pace at the beginning because we know it's going to spiral completely out of control, especially with bottom 10 lists. Like that has potential to completely spiral.
100%. And with the whole reason for this was we were just itching to do an episode. We didn't have the books to talk about because we were waiting for a special guest. Um, that's really why we're here. So
Five.
number five. This is where stuff we're getting top
I
five
kind of,
here.
yeah,
I'm getting excited because
I'm starting to look at your list and realize what you're not going to have on your list. And you should be looking at mine and
yeah.
realize what I'm not
Or I'm
gonna.
like, is one of my top five not even in your top
Yes,
10,
yeah.
which is making me nervous. Although I don't know why. Number five, I'm going with Steppenwolf. I want to just write it kind of weird here. And I mean, this book, one of the most fun books that we read by far,
Yeah,
just in terms of the intrigue behind it and just kind of not knowing what's happening,
yeah,
but also being fully invested because it's so
yeah.
well written and engaging and intriguing that you want to keep going and you keep finding out more. Bonus points for the author's note in the
I
beginning,
agree.
and then our conclusion around it. Um,
Great book club book.
Great book club book. It's one where it's like if you read this on your own, like I'd be like, I feel so lost. I'd be like, I need to
Yeah,
talk to
yeah,
somebody about this because it's so crazy
yeah,
and just so out there and different that like I just I feel like this book has been so impactful to the book club because we've tried to find the next Steppenwolf
yeah.
like 10 different
I
times, and I
agree.
think we've probably missed most of the time
Yeah.
because it's really
And,
hard to replicate that kind of.
and we'll keep trying. I think that's like
Mm.
that's what's crazy. Is like you're right. We've missed on a bunch of these, but we will keep
It
trying.
was that good where it's like let's still like ask ChatGPT what's the next Steppenwolf for
Yeah,
us.
I agree. And I agree so much. My
Wow.
number five is Steppenwolf as well.
So we have three of the last four.
Yeah. And I would say
Interesting.
just like for me, it's like mystical suspense would be the best way to kind of sum
Mm,
up Steppenwolf. Like it's just like there's weird mystical elements to it, and it's like you're interested in it, and then it
are
kind
they
of all comes together.
is things real? Are they really
Yeah.
happening? Are they in his
Like
mind?
if
Like,
you ask me right now, what is it about? I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
all I would say is German man, half wolf.
Yeah, yeah,
Germany, 1930s or
yeah.
20s.
But again, that's kind of not what it's about at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't even want to try to explain it to
No,
someone,
you got to read that and
right? And I'd be like, if I recommended this one, I'd be like, just read the whole thing before you
yeah,
judge me for recommending this
yeah.
and see what you think.
And then yeah,
It's
then we'll
not just
talk
like
about it.
a catch-all, like everyone should read Steppenwolf.
I
It's
agree.
like it's a little bit more niche.
Yeah.
All right, number four for me. I had so much trouble with all of these, just trying to find out where they fit.
Yeah.
I had Turtles all the way down.
Okay.
Um, so my thought process here. So this is another vaccine book. Um, like was essentially like this is almost my catch-all for like the vaccine books type of
Yeah.
thing, and I felt like overall this one did the best job of explaining everything. It did a lot of detail that other vaccine books didn't in terms of like the clinical trials, breaking them down and talking about like placebos and going through each of the things like what's herd immunity, what doesn't give you herd immunity, what can you pass even if you get the vaccine, what can you not. So I thought it was like really thorough
Yeah.
and just overall encompassing. And I thought like, vaccine books have been like you could almost slot in like 4 or 5 different books into the slot for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just pick one that I think is the best and kind of go with that, so that way I can slot in other things and kind of have more broad base. But that was my thought process there.
Yeah. And this is following a really strange theme here, but my number four was also turtles.
Wow.
We kind of knew it when we read it, and like, like I remember we were actually like in the kitchen after we read it, and we were talking about like the turtles all the way down story just in the first chapter, and
I
like,
think I texted you in the first chapter, and I was like, we just hit a home run
yeah,
here. Like,
like just knew it, and like, yeah, I just think. And I can see why now maybe you didn't have the one that I had in my top 10 that you didn't is because you didn't want to go with two books on the same topic.
it
Um,
was essentially was like just that.
yeah, because,
And there was just two, like, there were so many options.
yeah,
Like, if there was less options,
but I also think
it's,
like we've done five books and yeah, I mean, impact alone. Like I can never put a Paul Thomas MD in my top 10,
I like,
but like
you
impact
can make that
alone,
argument,
yes, like it was a five-star book from the standpoint of impact on
I
my
think
life,
we
Paul
rated it
Thomas
five
MD.
stars right away,
Yeah.
and then we adjusted after we did a few of the other
Yes.
vaccine
Because I think
books.
they're better books and better book club books, but I don't think like I think Paul Thomas MD is a book that every single person that has
Yeah,
a child should
it's a
read.
good starter book because it's not like too crazy
No.
or in depth like
Yes.
Turtles really is,
Yes. He's not like
and it might be a little
he's not
scary
even
for some people.
anti-vax. Like he is pro-vaccine, Paul Thomas,
Yeah,
and like pro certain types of vaccines. It's just like really just was like so interesting in terms of like which ones he's like you shouldn't get and which ones you
yeah,
should
like
get.
oh hey, like it's a little baby, maybe you just
Space
space
these
them out
out.
a little bit,
Yeah,
wait till they're
yeah.
a
Just like
year or
really
two
common
instead of
sense
the first
things.
day, and it's like
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like that crazy,
crazy.
you know what I
No,
mean? So
and
it's like
yet like he's like attacked all the
yeah,
time
he's been
for
like banned from everything, I
yeah.
think, and he kind of gets a bad rap. But that's interesting because now we're down to the top three.
Yeah,
This is
which
where things may be 3 and 3 on the same books, but
I
the
almost am starting to think we're exactly the same for
the
me.
ordering might be
You think so?
no, I honestly don't know.
I'm starting to think we might be three for three.
If we get the top six match, that'll be pretty impressive.
That would be.
Um, so I'll just go into it. Number three, Talking to Strangers.
Okay.
Um, this one is the first book. I'm just not even gonna try.
Yeah, talking's good.
The probably the first literal book that we did as a book club, which I think helped it. But I think on its own, it's just an awesome book.
Yeah,
Malcolm Gladwell, great writer. All of his books are good. I think you can make a case for like some others to kind of at least be in consideration up here,
yeah,
and we've kind of overlooked them because we've done so many of his.
yeah,
So I think that almost works against him. But
yeah,
like, talk about a book that's just like so fun to read. I would recommend it to anyone, especially if they're like first starting to read books. It's a great one to start with. How he goes into so many different topics: Jerry Sandusky, Bernie Madoff, Amanda Knox,
yeah,
random kid at a frat party, a
yeah,
random other story, and like ties them all together into one narrative.
yeah,
But he's the best at that. So for like quality of the book and impact it's had on the book club, because that's the
yeah.
one we read and we were like, wait, books are good?
Oh yeah,
Like I
yeah,
didn't know books could be good before
yeah.
reading this. So like impact wise, it's up there with the best of them, and that's why it's in my top three.
Yeah, and I had a feeling that this was gonna happen because I didn't think there was any way that this couldn't be in the top three. Talking to strangers. And like I kind of for the exact same reason. Like I even wrote down like talking to strangers slash just like M Gladwell. Just
Right, it's like the catch-all almost.
yeah, just like impact on book club alone. But this is the interesting part about this is it was the first book that we did for book club. Literally the first book.
Yeah,
And it was the I thought it was great. Like and I didn't realize like and now like looking back, I still think it's great.
yeah.
But I don't know, like we it's not his most popular book,
I
not
don't
even close. And we've read some of the other ones, and I think I've enjoyed Talking to Strangers more than the other ones. So,
100%. The only thing,
like, how much of that is that it was our first book versus
I think it was better than David and Goliath, better than both Tipping Points, which were also like really good and I really
Yeah,
enjoyed. You could maybe make a case that Outliers, if we had read it first,
was the
would
best.
be our Talking to Strangers,
I
only
agree.
because like I loved
Me
Outliers. I
too.
remember like I don't remember anything from it, weirdly.
Outliers was like the girls' basketball team where they like did the
Okay.
full court press, and it was just like a bunch of stories of like outliers. Like,
It's about Outliers.
yeah, yeah.
But like I just remember being super pumped to always be listening to that. Like
No,
it
I
was like an
agree. That
automatic
was
five star
my
for us
second
too.
favorite. Yeah,
So like maybe you can make a case that like if that was first, it would be here.
yeah.
But then I still think Talking to Strangers would be somewhere here. And
I
I think
agree.
Outliers was probably like right above, or
Yeah,
at least just not as good. So I am curious why Talking to Strangers isn't its most popular.
yeah. What's interesting to me is when you start to look at the list, and for me, it's just kind of like there isn't that much of a gap between like my number nine and like my number three or my number two. Like
100%.
it's really, really close. And that's what I mean. If you listen to any of the pods, you hear us talk about it all the time. Like when you're ranking books and you only get a one through five,
Yeah.
no decimals, like that's I want to go to the hundreds place. Like forget like just giving me like at least a chance to give like a 4.5. Like the difference between a four and a five is crazy.
It's
The difference between a three and a four is crazy.
yeah, because like I don't like giving low ratings. Like I
No.
give if you're writing a book, I give you the benefit of the doubt. Like you're
Yeah.
starting at like a four just for putting in the effort, and then
Yeah.
you really have to be bad to get
Yeah.
below that
Yeah.
essentially.
I have to
Unless
like not
some
want to read it or listen to it.
yeah, like some are
Yeah.
like high threes, which are okay still, but yeah, totally agree.
Now this is so I mean obviously this will determine whether we were exactly the same from six to down to one.
Yep.
But this is interesting to me how you rank these two because I even put a little thing in my because I think I know what the two are.
Yeah, I
Like
think we both know.
yeah,
I'd be shocked if we were.
different on these two.
Yeah, I mean the order might be flipped.
That's what I mean. But I think that's the thing that I had in my notes is that I could have flipped this order.
Yeah, I could have flipped, and I will. We'll maybe each talk about our list, like
Yeah.
how we put it together, because I'm interested to see like what you might have like been thinking through. And number two, might get up a little bit for this.
Getting pretty far down this list,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
gonna do a little quick squat here. Number two for me, breath. James
Wow.
Nestor. Again, we're talking quality research, impact, interesting, something you never thought about before, but is like you're literally doing obviously all day, every day. Um, you came over the next time and I had a pack of mouth tape and
Yeah.
lent me a few, and I've been sleeping with mouth tape ever since. And
Instant impact.
instant impact. I woke up just feeling so much better. Like I don't snore. Like I didn't wear it one night on vacation, and like Amy woke me up 3 times. She's like, "You're snoring," and I was like,
Yeah.
"I don't have my mouth tape on."
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know. I notice it all the
But
time.
yeah, like I'd recommend this to everyone. I'm like, you have to read it. It's quick, it's interesting, like
Yeah.
it's a perfect book.
I
And
yeah. Preaching to the choir. But in this case we actually do get a bit different here.
ah,
So my number two is Untethered Souls. We're gonna go with a US. And I put souls within put like in parentheses yes, because I'll put both untethered in here
yep,
because otherwise they'd both be in the top 10 and
100%.
we can't have that. But I think you mentioned it with, you know, just in terms of like books that you're looking for other books in that genre.
Try to get a repeat.
Yeah, I would have never even entertained like if someone said if you told me before like hey it's a self-help book genre type of book, I'd have been like I'm not even interested even though I need all the help that I can get, but I just like won't listen to someone else tell me what to do or how to think.
My mom gave me this book in 2018, and I never read it.
Yeah,
And then like I forgot about it, and I heard someone talking about it on a podcast, and I was like, I think I have that book, which
yeah,
was weird. And I was like, I do. It's like, all right, like it's short. Like let me now that we're reading books, let's check it out. And I
yeah,
was like just blown away by
yeah.
it.
And that's what it is. It's like I think it's one of those books where it's like if you find it at the right time, it's life changing.
Yeah, I mean, while we're talking about it, we might as well just put it up. Number one for me,
Yeah,
Untethered Soul.
yeah,
I mean, like as we're saying, impact, the book that just helped me in my daily life more than
the
anything.
most, yeah,
Like if I'm ever, even still, like if I get to those points where I'm stuck in traffic,
Yeah.
or like I see an old lady coming down the grocery store and I'm like, is she gonna get in my way? Like I feel myself starting to like spaz and like have like a fake fight in my head with someone I don't even know that's gonna
Yeah.
be gone in 5 seconds. Like I
Yeah.
still remember like to check in and be like, okay, this is like
I know.
I'm just my head's just kind of going,
Yeah.
and like my moods are better all the time, like less spazzing about stupid stuff. Like I enjoy stuff more.
Yeah.
I've reread this like 2 or 3 times. Like anytime I go on a trip or something, like I bring this with me.
So smart. I need to go back and do that because I would say longest impact, like I would say that book had a real impact on my personality the most
Hundred
for
percent, like better my relationship, like better as just like person, like worker.
yeah.
I think just
And just like little ways to think about stuff. Like I drive back from the gym and there's this like merge and everyone merges in late
hmm
because it's just like the way that it's set up is so stupid. And it's just like, and then even after that, like I'm trying to essentially build a wall so people can't get in. And it's just like, like I have to just like relax and like, take a step back. And then even after there's this like little it switches into 2 lanes. And people try to go into the 2 lane even though it switches right back into one to just get like 2 cars ahead. And like
yeah.
sometimes I'll be in the middle to try to stop them from doing that. But then it's like I think of Untethered Soul sometimes, and I'll just be like, instead of getting really mad at the person in front of me, I'll just be like almost like laughing and smiling and being like, "Hey, buddy, if you want to be 2 cars ahead,
Go for
go
it.
for it."
Right, and
Like,
like it's not gonna impact my day.
no, like it maybe costs you what, like,
Second.
yeah, a literal second off of your commute home being 2 cars in front of me now.
Right. It's like anytime I feel myself starting to get tethered,
Yeah,
I try to reread a little bit of Untethered so really think about it and like
yeah,
put myself back to when we were reading it in real time and I was
yeah,
like, holy crap, everything I
totally.
think about is so stupid.
Yeah,
And
big spinning rock in space, like is
right.
something I always go back to.
And like
So,
those things like can be cliche if
yeah,
someone were to tell you that, but he does it in such a way
I agree.
that doesn't make it feel stupid. It just makes it feel like, oh, okay, like
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
that makes sense. Like I kind of get it
And
now.
even like the stuff with the voice in the head and all that is I think just like
Cool,
so
so
interesting and
cool, so
yeah.
important. I think
And then
can talk
yeah,
about it forever.
no big surprises here. My number one is breath.
Yeah, hundred
And I,
percent.
I think it's like you said, as far as impact on life, I think Untethered Soul probably had the longest impact. Breath has had the most like sustaining impact. And it's like I'm still taping my mouth shut, I'm
Today
still
at the gym on the treadmill, did some running, checked my heart rate, and I was like, all right, let me try to get my heart rate down.
yeah,
Just did breathing through the nose, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out for like a
yeah,
minute or two, check it again. It
yeah,
was down to like normal already.
yeah,
And I was like, literally just from breath, like
yeah,
2 years later, like still thinking about that
yeah.
in like my day to day.
And then just I think I had to put it at one just for uniqueness. Like we were saying with some of the other books
Yeah,
that there is seemingly only one. I mean, maybe there's not, but like Jekyll Island I put in here for how unique it is.
right to us.
Yeah. Um what else? Yeah, I
It's a
just
perfect book. I
it
mean, there's
is.
just no
And there's just not it doesn't seem like there's that many people talking about it. There's not that many people like
one of the top ones I would recommend. Like even Untethered Soul, I think it should be like legally mandated for everyone to read.
if I think you feel like
But
you need it or you're ready for it.
right, like I
Yeah.
don't think forcing it on people
Yes.
is the right way to do it. Like you have to be ready for Untethered Soul.
Breath you could force on
Breath,
people.
I'm saying you sit down and read this right
Yeah.
now because it's so awesome, and I'll know
Yeah.
no matter how much I batter them to do it, that they'll be thankful for because it's that good of a book.
Also weird special connection that he like showed up at your work one day to
Insane,
do like a presentation. I
insane.
think that is I mean it's the
I got to
closest
ask him a
we've
question. He liked it.
yeah,
He thought it was funny. I
yeah,
told him about the book club. He knows about the book
yeah.
club.
It's the closest
I
we've
didn't
ever
tell
been
him
to
it's only
having
two people.
yeah. Like
Mm,
anyone even knowing about the book club, like it's shocking that he might, and it's like
yeah,
my
like James
sister
Nestor's,
apparently doesn't,
yeah, it's
you
one of the
know?
more than our family.
Yeah.
We got our top tens done. We just finished.
That was a D minus walk.
What happened?
I didn't see Ariana. I searched even the park.
Oh
I did an
yeah?
extra loop. I was like, where is she?
Probably
Eat
a
your
lot.
cookie.
Two. Yeah, you got a treat. Two, my phone died while I was on the phone with my mom immediately. So she probably thinks I'm exhausted.
You're like dad. She's
Three,
texting me, so she's not too worried.
in
Oh wait, no,
Walgreens. Did she?
no, just a group chat.
In Walgreens. The woman behind me in line, and there was 8 of us in line, stood this close. also, and I had Caroline, so I thought they were trying to take Caroline, so I kept trying to like.
Nice. Just talking about that though.
We were just talking about
Really? A little
we were talking about Untethered
trafficking?
Soul. So do you want to see?
Oh, wait, wow. Steve doesn't get a name.
Probably I didn't
It's
even
just
notice
assumed.
that, but we
It's just
can.
assumed.
It's probably pretty obvious to me and him.
I like how the handwriting.
It really, it
got
gets
tough.
hard to
It's
write
really
on this
hard as
angle.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
that.
So we had some differences up top, but then 6 Jekyll Island, 5 Steppenwolf, 4 Turtles, 3 Talking to Strangers.
Oh,
we
you guys were
matched.
like right across.
And then we
I
said Brett
told you
and
he didn't have
Untethered
Nanking.
Soul, he had flipped.
I told you he wasn't gonna have Nanking.
I
So-
figured that one. And this, so like, I thought Nanking I might have a little high. I
Did Paul
thought
tell you he has his like own bets on yours?
He did.
we're
So
gonna go
like,
through that and see what I got right.
yes. So let's maybe switch that now because I have my final 3 spots. I had narrowed down to
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. And to be fair, Rape of Nanking was one of them,
Nice.
but it didn't make the top 10.
Got it.
So Lost Connections was the other, so I think 10 was
Wow.
probably right.
Wait, Lost Connections was the one that you were.
I was debating. I was like, I was like, I could flip Bad Blood and Lost Connections easily here.
I really
We
liked
matched on
Lost
Bad Blood.
Connections too, but I also
Wow.
feel like it's also on a
Wow.
topic that there's so many books on. Like there's so many books
Yeah.
on anxiety and depression now.
Oh, is that not the one that the guy keeps multiplying?
No, that's
No.
Dark
We
Matter.
haven't got to the bottom 10 yet.
Yeah, but hold on to that because I have a lot to
Lost
say on that.
Connections, Dark Matter. That feels
Yeah,
those
yeah.
feel in the same realm.
but yeah, and then I had Chaos because I'm just such a Tom O'Neill fan. Like I'm such a fan of his like research on Charles Manson that it's just the most research I've ever seen anyone do ever in a book.
So what I did was I went through the list and I just wrote down every book I could possibly make a case to be in the top 10.
Yeah.
I got 22 books.
That's why you were that's why you were struggling so much at the kitchen table.
Right, and then I started to do things like
Multiple days.
Yeah.
Untethered
Multiple
Soul
days.
and Living Untethered. Both 5-star books, but I can't have Living Untethered in the top 10. So like that was how I started to like
Yes.
weed out some easy ones like
Okay.
that. Then I had my
Paul
top
also likes
6.
doing like subcategories. Like if there's only one vaccine book, he said on the top because he's like, did you mention that already?
A
We
little
talked about
bit.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Which I think is fair, but I
So
will
he like ranked
say
his vaccine books, got a winner, and then that's covered that
yes.
category.
And that took away a spot for me because Moth and the Iron Lung is
Is a
technically a vaccine book, but I kind of put it in not necessarily. I put it more in a history book.
want to hear
Yeah.
my so I did a top 6.
Yeah,
So these are locks. I'll figure out the order later.
I
And
totally
I have
agree
to
with
figure
that.
out the last 4 and I
How does
picked
the book
8.
club feel about babysitting for like 2 minutes?
We'll babysit.
Okay.
We're on it.
So I picked the top 8. And I was like, I have to narrow down the top 8 into this 4. Hi, you podcasting with us? Good job. I had to pick out 8 to put into this top 4. So 4 made it. The 4 that didn't make it, that were my just miss category here, Empire of Pain,
Okay.
Unabomber, Moth in the Iron Lung, and Chaos, which you said was just a miss. So like I think overall, like the 4 that you had that weren't in mine were
Towards the
11 to 14.
Yeah.
Like literally just missed were those 4.
And that's why I think the ranking system is so difficult that it's like there's 4-star books that I think are so close. Like I could have put Chaos. Like if you put Chaos literally here,
I could have
I
flipped
wouldn't have fought you
put
on it.
Chaos where any one of these 7 through 10 were.
Yes, and Nanking, like I'm not
Same
gonna
with
fight you on Nanking
the ones you
or Bad
had.
Blood. Yeah, like I wouldn't fight you on any of those because I think the difference between those 14 and I'd maybe go up to I could go all the way to 4. I think the top 3 is where I would cut it. That
Yeah.
these are maybe a tier
Or
above.
yeah,
But I think
struggles here.
yeah, because Turtles for me is a big part of its ranking is the topic.
Yes.
And I think Steppenwolf, a big part of the ranking is how much enjoyment we both got. That we independently
100%.
separately wrote down that the author might be gay. And I actually brought my old notes here
Did you?
that like there's old Costco lists on here. But like I brought my Steppenwolf.
Oh wait, back of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Like the
here.
Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
there you go.
like yeah, like Game of Life. Um yeah, just like the enjoyment that I got from it. Like I was making predictions. Is Hermione real? There's the drug part, and then like, is Herman Hesse gay? Question mark. Second book, he ends with finding a longtime friend that's a boy. Siddhartha too. And it's funny, like
Yep.
I forgot. And then like next note, some people probably think it's a gay book. And like I forgot about that because I forgot to bring this to the meeting because it was when we were meeting with Ben.
Yeah, we stayed.
Yeah, and like you had your notes and like I remember you brought it up before I even brought it up, and I was like, "You're not even gonna believe this," but like I got that impression
We
too.
both came to that.
Yeah, and then you like think about the author's note in the beginning that it's like this book is often misunderstood, and it just like that whole thing just made it where it was like that's what I want in a book club book.
It's a perfect book
Yes.
for us, and just it
Yeah.
was so good.
But I agree. So like take those three out, and I think you could go 4 to 14 in a lot of different directions.
Yeah, like I could have flipped even Turtles and Jackal and been okay with it. Like I could make
Same.
a case for that. I
Same.
mean, I could have flipped in Empire of Pain, Moth and Iron Unabomber Chaos.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones I had on my first bubble list, which didn't make it to the next round,
Yeah.
besides like the vaccine ones that I just want to mention. I think it's actually just a few.
Yeah.
Because the vaccine ones I had a bunch, and then it was like Siddhartha. It was like we loved Siddhartha.
We did.
Out
Siddhartha's a good, I think another good book club book.
Outliers and Franklin Scandal.
Yeah.
Like we
Forgot about
forget
that.
about how good Franklin, how deep that guy went into that case,
You're right.
and how relevant it is today with like all the pedophile rings. Like this guy was
Yeah.
exposing pedophile rings in like the 80s and 90s and
Yeah.
stuff.
And I think still to
Um,
this day, it's probably the second biggest one behind it.
and it's a testament to. I even had Anthony Fauci in here. Like that book was crazy.
That was.
We just knew a lot of it
Yeah.
beforehand, so that didn't make it like kind of past the next round.
I
But
think it wasn't that well written, but I think the research was great and the fact that he's sued and all that stuff. I think that's the
there's
biggest
just
takeaway.
crazy stuff in
Yeah.
there.
Like the accusations, like he even is like straight up calling people like names. Like he's pretty much calling Fauci
He's like
like
calling him like a
like a
shorty.
little man,
Yeah.
like an angry little man, like type stuff. And it's like
Yeah.
I think that took away from the book itself in a way, you
I
know?
could see that.
But
I also put Denial of Death just in my bubble because I was like, that was such a good book. Like
yeah, it
we
was.
enjoyed it. We had a really long discussion before we started recording
Yeah.
about Denial of Death. It might be in the Substack in the written form. I can't
I
remember.
would like to go back and kind of look at some of those. Maybe that's the one thing that I didn't do. I looked at my old notes, but I didn't go back to the Substacks.
I didn't either. I didn't think. I really forget it. So
Same.
that's out there.
Me too, yeah.
And that's kudos to us for doing that.
Yeah. Because
Um,
that is like instead of rereading the book, we probably just need to reread the Substacks.
yeah. Let me see if I was how good I was in my predictions. Um, I thought you would have Talking to Strangers a little bit lower. Like I thought you would have it like 4 or 5.
What you doing?
You know what? I think the impact of it
Came into
and
it.
just like I did put in my thing like slash Gladwell. That it's like talking to strangers slash get Gladwell, and it's like
Yeah.
Gladwell is he's a top three guy.
So I was wrong. I was wrong because I said I'm gonna have Jekyll higher and I'm gonna have Turtles higher, but you'll still have them both in your top 10. But I think we match exactly on both.
Yeah.
So wrong on that. I said we're gonna have 6 or 7 books that are in both top 10s. So I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
I said a Liberated Mind won't be in Steve's top 10.
That was
I
true.
thought that was my biggest reach probably.
Yeah.
Um, and then Lost Connections will be another one that you don't have in your top 10.
You know what's funny is I felt like when we first read Lost Connections, I thought I liked it more than you did. And then I think afterwards, it was kind of one of those where it's like after the meeting, you were almost higher on it than I
It
was.
was just the ending. He missed the mark on the ending.
Yeah.
Just being like, oh, like I guess it was just like a stupid resolution.
Yeah.
He was just, oh, we just have to wait for like the government to like fix this all for us. It was like,
Yeah.
wait, we just had a whole book about how you have to like kind of do
Yes.
your, whatever. Then I had Steve have one in his top 10 that was like wasn't even on my radar, which I don't think happened.
No.
No, you were pretty on point. And I
It's like
said,
I could see it with like a Steppenwolf. I think like some of the books.
Your last one with Steppenwolf will be top 3.
did I write
See?
that? I think
Yeah.
I talked about it, but I don't know if I
Yeah,
You
wrote it.
didn't write it? You told me
I
that
wrote
this
chaos.
morning.
I said chaos will be in your top 10, but we just talked about that.
it's just funny that we do get that impression that it's like you know that it's a good book, but like the other person like took more from it than you did, and it's like you can tell when they start talking about it,
You're like, oh.
and
And
like
how would you remember if we read a book 2 years ago
yes,
and it's like if we're still talking about like Breath and Untethered Soul as much,
yeah,
like they have to be the top two.
and like Liberated Mind, I will say like I can't remember one thing from it, and when we get to the bottom 10, there's a few books in my bottom 10 where I'm just like,
I don't
I know
remember.
we read this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I can't remember one thing,
This is
which
one
is
like I want to
It's
reread
not,
it
it's
because it was
not,
like
no.
so helpful.
yeah.
She's going for the bone.
We are, I just set her up on the front porch. We're gonna go chill on the front porch.
Nice.
You need us?
Yeah.
You wanna
You
go?
want to chill back here?
I set up her like playpen and toys, and I
Awesome.
just got myself water and plugged in my phone.
Perfect. We'll be here. We're
Yeah.
gonna dive into the bottom 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
If
be
you
up
hear
there.
yelling,
Don't
fighting, it's just
Don't come back
Don't
here.
feel bad if you guys want to pop in some weedings. I don't know.
Yeah,
some yard work. Maybe we'll end with some yard work.
love it.
It could be an audio. An audio.
Could be
Yeah,
audio.
we still got time here. Bottom 10 though, I think we oh no, should we maybe we'll finalize after, like an official we'll have Amy write for us because our handwriting's so bad.
Yeah.
And then we'll just hang it up in the studio, like the official
That's-
top 10. Because I think it'll almost take too much time to like make a case for this one or this one or this one. Like we're really similar on a bunch, but I think we
Our top
really
six are identical, essentially.
we're
Minus, flip here or there.
we're gonna have to get in the weeds a little bit for 7, 8, 9, and 10.
It's tough because like I could have easily have come in with the 7 to 10. Those are my
Yeah.
my four bubble books.
Yeah, and again we talked about it, but yeah, same. 7 I'm with, 8 I'm with, 9 I'd fight you, but then 10 I'm with.
Yeah, like this, I kind of know like this is like specific to me.
Yeah.
And Nanking, like just like the topic, and
I
we talked about it. But
yeah, I mean it's a
you
one
can't
of
say
those,
anything bad about it.
3 and 6 for me.
All right, let's flip this. Let's see if this works.
It actually seems like that maybe
I
worked
mean,
really well.
the technology on this podcast is increasing. Let's give a bottom 10. Okay. That's great. That was, as we were talking, we almost went down.
Yeah, we can't go too far in these chairs,
Yeah, we
so
don't
be
wanna
careful. Don't lean on these.
we don't want to lose the wines.
All right, bottom.
So I struggled with bottom 10. Like there was like 4 or 5. I was like, okay, definitely.
Yeah.
After that, I was like going through the list, like, okay, what like can I put a book in the bottom 10 that like I genuinely enjoyed reading?
So do
You know what
we?
I mean?
So do we maybe start with like one the worst? I think you actually almost have to start with the worst and then work your way up because I think it's easier to make the case that this book was terrible than this book was really good.
Okay.
Like I think you start with the worst book.
Okay. Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You start.
Okay.
You're also gonna have to finish that D. I kind of started it. So like we're like for those that can't tell, we are in the middle of a slope of a
We're on a hill
We're on a hill.
in the sun. I
Um,
wouldn't be shocked if you can't even read what's written down on a piece
nah,
of paper,
the,
and if you were to look at the video,
the glare is probably crazy. The good news is the only two people that'll be into chat are me and you.
the only two people who will listen are
So
currently talking.
I'll text you if we can't, but
That'll be about it, 'cause
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think number one,
Number one.
the worst.
I think this, and I struggled with this choice at the top here, um, a lot, and I flip-flopped it a lot, and I think that it has to be the barn.
Yeah,
And there's a few different reasons. Number one, it's the story is marketed as like the true story of Emmett Till
yeah,
and what happened to him during like racial issues in the South. And like that's super interesting to me because it's like, oh, holy crap, like that's a crazy story.
yeah.
Like what don't I know about it that
True story on anything that's perceived to be different than the way history portrays it, I think is just interesting in general.
100%. And then we read it and I was like, Oh, it's just the story
Yeah.
of Emmett Till. Like there wasn't anything new or interesting. And then I think I really got to a problem at the end where the guy kind of put in this really weird like race baiting
It
stuff
was
and
just like white guilt at its like
highest level.
yeah,
He was like this weird moment where he's like really sucking up and trying to
yeah,
pretend like he's like the most holy,
yeah.
non-racist person who's ever existed, and
And
he's like
talking about how like
praying with like
yes,
a
Biden
bunch of
and went to like the reunion of Emmett Till at the
yeah.
White House because he wrote the book, and it was just
Mm.
like,
And
guy,
then
like you're trying way too hard.
as we started reading more books, at the time I was like, okay, like I have problems with this. And it realized to me when we were reading a different book that like people's intentions could be bad when writing a book.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone who wrote a book had good intentions, like to try to put this story out there or information. But now I'm kind of rethinking about it when putting this list together. He wrote this book, I feel like, so that to make it known to people that he was so not racist and
yeah,
so much more virtuous than anyone else.
yeah,
It wasn't just to like shed light on a story that people should know or anything good. So I felt like the fact that he's using a sensitive topic like race
yeah,
to kind of put himself on a pedestal makes his intent bad, and I take books very seriously,
yeah,
and I'm not okay with that. So for all those reasons, The Barn is the worst book out of the 60 for me.
yeah. I actually couldn't agree more, and I think you said it perfectly. It's my number one as well. And I
Wow.
think it was one of those where we talked about where
I have
I,
no idea what books you're gonna have in here because the top
yeah,
few, I was like, I could, you know,
yeah. I think that was, I think you said it perfectly, that it was like, it was a book about an interesting topic that could have been an interesting book. And instead it became a book about the author
yeah.
and his history and the
He's like, oh,
history
my
of
family's from
whites.
here, and like we're so
Yes.
great, and it's like,
Yes. And like
okay,
pretty much talking about how he has to almost like take responsibility for his like family generations ago having slaves and all this stuff that the book wasn't supposed to be about that. And then at the end, he really like brings it together by trying to make himself into like a hero
like
by
an
being like,
angel.
yeah, like I went to the White House to meet with Emmett Till's remaining family and this and that. And it's just like it was a terrible book. I don't remember
Very out of
anything
touch.
about what happened to Emmett Till.
Right, like
Like
I was
not I don't
interested to
remember
see like,
one
oh, like the
thing.
story of Emmett Till, like it's already brutal. Like
Yeah,
have white people covered up some extra brutal stuff that we should
yeah,
know about that happened because
yeah.
like we are the ones who maybe have rewritten the
Yes.
story and there
Yeah.
should be some light shed upon it and like that didn't happen at all. Like I was
No.
open to like that
Yes.
being the
Me too.
case and
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah. The trial, the this, the that, like
Yeah.
that, the corruption, all that stuff. And it wasn't about that at all. Like the only things I remember from that are like things where he really talked about himself. And then the things that like were randomly thrown in that like, I remember like Archie Manning, he said was from that town that he
Yeah.
was from. And
Yeah,
that
it's like a
Archie
shot
Manning
at him or something. It's like, he was just
what
born
was
there.
it was like his dad like shot himself in the face and then like Archie Manning found his dad who had
Yeah,
committed
yeah.
suicide and it's just
You're
kind
right.
of like really random thing to throw in a book and I thought that was like maybe the only part of the book that I really like found interesting and then that was it. It was
Gotcha.
just like kind of just like a random fun fact about the area.
100%. So that leads me to my number two,
Yeah.
which is a book that kind of opened my eyes to the fact that people can write books for not the right reasons. And that's why I'm going to have Unruly by David Mitchell here. And this was supposed to be, it was one of a few podcasts ago, the story of like England's kings and queens.
Yeah.
But this guy was, I think he might have been a comedian or something.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to find a topic to write about so that he could show everyone that he's like funny.
Yeah.
And then he also put his own personal like political opinions in,
A lot.
which just didn't matter when you're writing about like kings and queens of England in like 1100
Yeah.
to say like what you think about like climate change or Donald Trump or anything else. It just didn't add any value to it. So I think his intent was not to write a book about the kings and queens of England, which I think could be really interesting because it's got to be crazy stories
Yeah.
where these people were like chopping heads off and
Yeah.
starving people and going into wars and like he didn't talk about the British Empire at all.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of countries they were taking over half the
I
world.
know.
He didn't mention that
No.
at all. He kind of stopped before maybe things got interesting in like 1700. Um, I couldn't. I think it seemed like he read Wikipedia on each king
Yeah.
in order and said a few things about them. The names were confusing. I got nothing from it
Yeah.
except for the fact that it almost made the barn move. I had it flipped from 2 to 1 because I
Yeah.
realized that this guy's intent was not good, just like this guy.
Yeah.
And I take books seriously around
No, I think
here.
I think that's really fair, and I think both are really fair, and I think like Unruly showed me that you can write a book when you have no right writing a book.
Anyone can write a book,
Yeah. Like if you can
even
just like
us.
you said, literally like just ask ChatGPT a few questions and get some general information and then put it into a book and then throw in
Try to
half
make
of your writing
jokes,
or jokes about it,
and if it's
then
funny, I'll give you a shot. But like,
yeah.
it
I
just
didn't think it was funny.
wasn't.
It wasn't helpful. It's just I mean we talked about it a
I feel
lot where
bad saying all, I don't like to talk bad about someone's
yeah,
book or something, but the fact that I'm kind of okay is I think the intent is bad.
yeah. My number two, you're not gonna like this. Book of Witches.
Ah,
I'm curious to see whether this is in your top 10 or
I
not.
think I rated like a 4.8 in real time.
Which, like, I think at the
I think
time,
we did like a IPA before wine that day, so I
yeah,
think I was really feeling
feeling good,
something.
yeah. But I will say,
Yeah,
like, here's what I'll say on Book on Witches. I think the topic itself, and I think I added this, so it's like tough for me to do this to something I added because the
yeah.
topic itself, I love, and I think the most demoralizing thing when we read a book or listen to a book is when they tell you at the beginning what the book's not going to be about. And it's like exactly why you're reading the book. So like the Book of Witches at the beginning, she was like, this is not going to be like a historical account of like witchcraft and all these like Salem witch trials.
Mhm.
And I was just like, that's why I picked the book. Like I wanted an accurate depiction of history, not some random woman just making these random, completely like, witches can turn into a cat and then use a stick to fly. And it's just like you have no evidence. You're not citing anything. It's not a historical account.
You reminded me how much why I like books. But I can't argue with you on it because on its own, it's a bad book.
Yes. And then
It's
you add in that we both did audio, and then the woman's accent and the recording
she had the
was
same
worse,
technology set up as us,
probably
and she was like
worse.
coughing in the
Yes.
middle,
And then
and it changed because she like
yeah,
changed rooms or
yes.
something.
Like some rooms they'd be like, oh, it's really loud and like, you know,
My like thought, a reason for liking it more than you, a lot of it is based on the fact that we're doing it as a book club book,
yeah,
and then it's just so funny and ridiculous that
to talk
now I'm
about it
excited
just
to talk about
yeah.
it, and that makes me like
Yes.
it.
Which
But
is, it goes to what you said before, which is like, what are we trying to get out of this? And for you and for me, I think part of it is I do like to, like we were talking about it in the last pod where we were talking about like conversations with people. And if
Mhm.
someone's just like, hey, my kid's sick this weekend, or like, hey, my brother had a softball game, like, do you want to talk about that? And I just be like, no. But if you were just like, hey, I read the Book of Witches this weekend, can I tell you about it? Like that, that's a
Um,
conversation I can
if
get into.
someone came to me with that at some kind of
Yeah,
like cocktail party, I'd be like,
yeah,
my night is good. I'm
yes,
chilling with this guy,
yeah,
and we're talking witches, and I'm
yes,
pumped about it.
yes. So
Right? So
like
like,
that I get, but I,
yeah,
I think that that's credit to the topic, not credit to the book that we picked.
as a book itself, it is bad.
And I, I,
I'll admit that.
I do want to get into that. I mean, one of the books we picked recently and I'd started and it's on our Audible, but it is like the history of the religions of the world. And
Right.
like he says in the book that, this book is not going to be about, and then he like lists a bunch of things. And it's like the Salem witch trials or like snakes in the Ozarks and like, the
That's what we
snake
want to
worship.
know.
Yes, and it's like those are the books that I want to read.
Yeah.
So it's just like that was
We could ditch that book too, because I haven't started it.
yeah.
Because there's so many books on religion, so like, if we're still early on it, maybe there's no need to like commit to a book
So
that's
what's
not.
funny is that book actually came up in the other book,
It came up a
Houston
million
Smith,
times. I
right?
already, yeah,
Yeah.
and we can't give too much spoilers.
All
Yeah.
right, but go ahead.
So yeah, number three.
Number three.
Number three, and this I've always kind of thought when we read it would continually be my number one on this list until these two books came up.
Yeah.
But I have People's History of the United States.
Okay.
Um, so for me, This one, it was too long. It covered too long of a time frame
Yeah.
where, um, it's trying to cover the entire history of the United States. You can't really get into anything interesting about like 300 years.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like just really do broad strokes on like every single presidential term, essentially.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a little bit dry and a little bit long and didn't offer anything like super new and interesting. And I don't think I took a lot away from it. Kind of like reading, it's interesting, like looking back at Goodreads on this, he wrote it because the whole idea is supposed to be like a new take on history.
Yes.
And the whole time I was like, this is just like
The same
the
history.
normal
Yeah.
history. But I think maybe when it was written, a lot of the stuff he was saying about some of the presidents was like more cutting edge. And now, like,
It's
he
common
might have been a
knowledge.
revolutionary and it's completely changed
History.
history. So now when I went and learned about it, I'm hearing all these things he was saying about like, oh, Abe Lincoln actually was an honest Abe.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, like I kind of know.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't new to me. So that might play a part here.
Yeah.
But for me, it just didn't bring much to the table.
So, yeah, I think for me, that was, I had a professor in college, a history professor, and he talked about that book once, and I just remember like never thinking books were cool at all. And like he portrayed it as that like, if you actually want to read a history book, like this is the book that actually shows the real history and doesn't just give you like the talking points, like that type of stuff.
Yep.
So like when he said that, I was just like I think I stored it in my memory for 25 years, and then you know when we started a book club, I was like, that's a book that seems like a book club book.
Yeah.
But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think about so when I was in college, that's like we're talking about like 16 years ago, which is crazy.
Don't say it.
And I think like 16 years ago, we're talking about almost like pre Insta Reels and
Podcasts,
podcasts and all this stuff where a
like
lot of this stuff has
YouTube
become,
documentaries
yes.
stuff.
So like when he would say things like, with the George Washington stuff, that his teeth actually weren't made of wood, that they were made of like,
Slave
partially
teeth.
slave teeth and some other teeth. It's like people have probably heard that
It's like I heard
now.
Shane Gillis stand up. I know,
Yes,
you know
yes,
that.
and like other stuff. I mean, I did think there was a couple of things in there that I didn't know. That like, some of the Abe Lincoln stuff, he still has a really pretty good reputation, but in the book they portrayed him just as like any skeevy politician. That like he only was against slavery because he thought it was like his best ticket to be president of the United States.
Yep.
So I did think there was a couple interesting things in there, but overall, I totally agree. It was like it felt like you were reading a school history textbook, which is what we don't want for reading.
Yeah, I'm not trying to read to learn. I'm trying to accidentally learn stuff by reading like really cool, fun stuff. And then
Yeah,
I
like it
just
should
happen
be
to get some more
entertaining.
because it's
Yeah.
engaging in a different way. Like it's telling a story or it's doing
Yes.
something you don't know and you're like, wait, what? And
Yes.
it
You don't
kind of
want to feel like you're doing work. And I think like
this one I felt like I was doing work. That I
yes,
think is
it
the
felt
best way
like
to put it.
yeah, yeah. So my three is the same as your
Okay.
two,
I was gonna
and
get concerned if that one started to drop on your list.
so it's unruly, and I'll even put in there like England as a country, as far as just being in the bottom 10.
Like,
Like he not only in that book like ruined the history of England for me, but he actually made me like question England as a country. That
like
it's like the good rating and like the amount of views that he got was way too high. Like it just made me question every single thing that
that's
England's doing.
that's a good point. Like, are people there like reading that and being like, "This is it. Like,
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
good
Like this
stuff."
guy's funny. This
Right.
Shakespearean actor is like hilarious. Like it makes me question everything. The book
As a
was
country, they have fallen off. Like they were an empire, controlled the whole world, and
yeah.
now it's like,
Now they can't even write a good book.
they can't write a good book. They can't enforce any correct laws in their country. They
Yeah,
arrest people for social media posts.
yeah,
They're getting overrun by immigrants.
yeah.
They got a lot
And
of problems over
and I
there.
could see
This book might be the
why
number one problem they
that's
have.
that's like if that is a popular book there, which I think it might
There's
be
no
based off
hope
its
for
rating,
England if
they're
that's
done.
true.
They're
You're
completely
right.
done because
I never thought about that.
it's a colossal piece of shit. Like it was so bad, and I
Again,
I think we both knew it, and like I wanted to
At least Book
to
of
like
Witches
it.
he wrote in like 1905. He
Yes.
didn't know any better.
Nah.
This guy knew better.
And someone else read his book for him.
Said,
That
publish.
yeah,
Do
that
it.
he didn't really have control over. So like, there's excuses to be made. There's no excuse for this book. The author was like horrible, just a horribly written book on a really interesting topic. I think that's the thing that makes me most upset about that book is
Could be great.
could be amazing. Could be amazing. And like now I'll be afraid to pick another like add another book to our Goodreads that's on the history of England just because this guy like
Yeah.
single-handedly wrote it.
They're banned until we get to like 100.
Yeah. So I actually maybe agree with yours more than mine because I'd be willing to go back to witches. I am not willing to go back to England.
There. Another good way to look at it. And we're gonna win gust here. This is where things are gonna start to get interesting.
Or
As
yeah.
we start to get to the bottom half of these lists.
I
It
agree.
got
'Cause
harder.
that's what I mean. There's gonna be some good books on there.
Number 4 for me, and I'm surprised I haven't seen this a little bit on yours already, is going to be 7 Story Mountain.
Okay.
And I remember when we read this, you hated it.
Yeah.
And I gotta be fully honest, like, I don't think I paid attention when I was listening to
It was
this.
like 2 hours.
It was short, and I should have re-listened to it before we met. So I remember like it was a really cold morning, and I went to the gym, and it wasn't open yet for some reason. The person was late, and I was sitting in the parking lot for like an hour, and just listening to this book, and I like didn't listen. I like zoned out,
Yeah.
and I think I missed most of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's supposed to be some way like inspirational or helpful or help you kind of get in touch with like not like religion, but like some type of like spiritual sense.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I got that from it. It's like I couldn't when we met, I couldn't make an argument that it was like good in any way. And like going through these books, I was like, I didn't get a lot out of this book because part of that might be my own fault, but like
Yeah.
sometimes the rankings lie where the rankings lie,
I
and if I
agree.
don't pay attention to your book, then sometimes you end up on the fourth on the worst book list.
Yeah. And that's gonna happen. Yeah. There's not much you can do about it.
Right? I gotta apologize, and maybe
Yeah.
one day I'll go back to
What's crazy is gonna end up there on both.
it. Okay. I thought
Um,
like that might be in your three, but I forgot which is you would probably have.
yeah, so totally agree. I think that I remember that's what's crazy. I remember where I was when I listened to this. Like I was on
Yeah.
a 7 hour drive up, 9 hour drive up to Maine. And I was like, oh, this will be nice that I have this 2 hour book. Like
Lock
this will be
in,
a
yeah.
good start here into this drive. And I remember I turned it off like 4 times because I just couldn't even like
Couldn't keep paying
I didn't even
attention.
feel like I was locked in.
I've
Yeah, like
never had a problem with
yeah.
many other books. Like some
Especially a
books,
2 hour book. Like
yeah,
if you think about like the Unabomber book,
you could force it.
yeah, it's like
I had struggles.
yeah, like the Unabomber book, I didn't ever feel like in a 3 hour book like that. Like I could have listened to that twice back to back and been more locked in than Seven
Yeah,
Story Mountain for the first time for 2 hours.
100%. So shame on that guy.
Yeah.
He's doing good. I think he had good intention. Like he was trying to help people,
Oh yeah.
which is why he's probably not here.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't a writer, so it
And
wasn't
also
as
maybe
engaging. Like I
yeah.
don't think he was an author.
No.
I think that matters. That's why, like Lost Connections got into the top 10 because Johann Hari
Yeah.
is like a writer, and he
Yeah.
made it something really engaging,
I agree.
which I think is a struggle here. It's
For
probably
these guys.
common across
Yeah.
this whole list, probably.
I'm feeling we're gonna be the same, yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
We might be. So this one, sorry, call. Road to Ulysses. Like, first of all, I still can't even say the title, and that's a problem for me because I want to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just was so a lot of this too is like expectation versus reality. Like,
Totally agree.
I was so excited for this one. Like,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's always talking about this book, and a lot of it clearly I didn't understand. And thank you to Call for explaining most of it to us. Because if not, it might be. I could see it being probably number 3.
Yeah.
Um,
And if it wasn't three, it'd just be that we were like too afraid to put in the bottom three because we didn't want to seem like too stupid
because we're
to
too dumb to
understand it.
understand it. And I think that's part of it probably, but also like I don't like I just don't didn't get I think you might have the same, but like
Yeah.
didn't get from it what I thought I was gonna get. Like I thought it was gonna be like all the stuff about how they use psychedelics back in
Yeah.
the day and there were
Yeah.
these ceremonies or something
Yeah.
and it
And
just
and
wasn't
these ancient
clear.
pots that they found that clearly had these substances, so we know that they were
Yeah.
using these substances, and we know how often they were using these substances, and we know where they were using these substances.
Hmm.
Turns out we don't even know if Ulysses, like, we know it was a road,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
all
don't
about
even know
all we
where
know.
it
Like it
led
was
to.
very abstract.
Yeah,
He kind of tied in um
some stuff with like
the stories of the
big-breasted
Greek
women,
gods,
right?
like the Persephone and all that, which is
Yeah,
like an awesome story of like Greek gods, but like it just didn't necessarily matter to like what I
yeah,
thought it was gonna be. Like I'd love to read a book about like Greek mythology, like that stuff's cool.
yeah,
But this it just I don't know, it just wasn't well like again, they're not authors. They were like three researchers.
yeah,
They each put like an essay out there and
yeah.
you had to kind of like tie it together yourself. And it I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's a common theme, and I thought we were gonna be the same on this. Um, I thought we were gonna be the same, and it's just because like we didn't really get it at all. Can we take that off?
You
No,
know what we
should
should
I
do?
tape
Should we
from
put the wine
behind?
bottle on top?
Oh, we could do that. You
This
want
wine
to put it
bottle
on
is
then?
just really saving my day.
Um, but I thought the same way, and I thought like yeah, I mean, that was my first thing was gonna be one shout out Carl. That I think Carl went into it being like, I can't be unprepared for this book club, which is hilarious.
Right,
You
knowing what
know?
we're doing.
But he's like, if I don't know
He
what's
saved the
going on
day.
here,
That
yeah.
would have been a 10-minute
So
episode.
I think he actually like really took the time to re-listen to some scenes and stuff like that. And it's like I feel bad that we put him through that
With how
because
many good books we've read,
I
I feel
know.
bad that we made him read one on this half of the list.
Yes, and we'll get to that next week because I do have a lot to say on that topic. As far as making Carl read books that we shouldn't, but but yeah, this one I had a really hard time with, and I was like, even after Carl explained it, I still don't even know if I understood.
Exactly. And I
Yeah,
understood it 10 times better, and
same.
I think on that day, I probably could have explained it to someone, but now we're a little
Yeah,
distance from it. I would struggle.
yeah. But yeah, no, you're number six.
Keep it rolling.
So yeah, this starts getting into maybe one more book, and then all of a sudden I think it starts getting into like now we're talking about pretty decent books here.
I couldn't agree more. I think this one will be fine, and then 7 to 10, I struggled with
I agree.
hard. But this one's gonna be no surprise here. We've seen it before. I do have the Book of Witches on here.
I'm proud of you for putting that in there because I know that was hard for you.
It's the debate of like I enjoyed reading this because we're in a book club and we
Yeah,
can talk about it. But as we just said before, on its own, it's a bad book.
yeah.
It's just not a good book at all.
I think we're
And that's okay. Well, not all the books are going to be bad. I'm not upset that I read that one. I'm upset that I read these two probably. But I think in this, yes, you're right. We're kind of getting to the place where I was thinking about books that I really liked
yeah,
to put into this bottom part of the bottom part.
yeah.
So interested to see what we each have here. I think it's going to be some differences.
I totally agree. I think obviously this one won't be. We'll have probably one more that are the same, and it actually matches. So I think right now when
Okay.
I match this up, people's history.
So are we 6 for 6, just kind of flipped around?
Yeah, 6 for 6, different
Yeah,
order.
I think that makes sense. And we know why that's there.
Yeah, we're not
Um,
gonna go too much into it
yeah.
again, but yeah,
Is that
I think that's right, and I think this is where we said, and we did say this before the pod that the bottom 10. I think the same thing happens when you get to 7 to 10. You're picking from relatively decent books
yeah.
and similar books, and it's
Thank
kind of the
God
same
we've
thing with
read
top
good
10.
books.
Yeah,
Um, so number seven. Oh, okay, yeah, I flipped these. Number 7 for me is How to Know a Person. This might
wow.
have been the last pod or maybe two ago.
Yeah, recent.
Um, again, a lot of this is um, expectation, as I try to write upside down, versus reality. I was trying to get the next Untethered Soul or Liberated Mind
Yeah,
by picking this one, and it
yeah.
wasn't that. I think our discussion, like
Bumped it
I
up from higher than it
moved
was.
it up because I was like, the one I got something from it after we
Yeah.
talked about it. But also, I haven't asked you one question this whole podcast. I haven't asked you how you felt about these lists.
I
I
think
haven't leaned forward.
I
I
think
barely
you
listened to anything you said.
So I mean, impact isn't there for you.
But I think like in reality, the try to ask one more question than you
Yeah.
normally would has helped me, and I've tried to implement that a little bit
Yeah.
with people. So like that's a good there is a good takeaway from that book. So I'm not like upset that I read it or
Yeah.
anything. I think at this point we're just starting to get into good books.
Yeah.
And this one for me, I went in thinking like this is gonna like fix a lot of things in my life, and it wasn't that. And I think that also plays a role.
So for me, I think that book, like, had a little bit of a different impact. And like, I also think like looking back on it now, I was in like a really, like maybe I was just in like a bad mood or like a bad
Yeah,
funk at that time. So when I read it, I really caught myself a lot being like, I'm like not being good in conversations that I'm just like literally just like saying things to get out of conversations instead of like
that's all I did.
actually, yeah, like actually trying to dive into them a little bit. And then I found myself a lot talking about myself instead of other people.
It's big.
Yeah.
That is big.
So I actually took a lot from that, even if it was maybe like temporary, but I do feel like that hit me at a good time where I think like I was actually getting like really bad at it.
That's important too. Like
Yeah.
when a book hits you, like if you read Untethered Soul when you
Yes.
need it, it hits
Yes.
differently than if you're
Then when
like
you don't need
forcing
it.
it and you're like,
Yeah.
this is stupid.
I totally agree. Um, so I think that's fair, and I think that tracks with, our pod on that you were definitely lower on it.
Yeah,
The last thing I'll say about that is he sucked, the author,
didn't help.
but the book itself I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah,
So this was a tough one, and this is where I think it gets really tricky. Like there's
yeah.
a big drop off for me between 6 and then 7 through 10.
Okay.
So
So
like
okay,
the 7 is for me the end is always near.
okay.
Um, and I remember also where I was when I read this, but
This
I
is
don't
an
remember.
early book.
Yeah, but I also don't remember one thing about it. I think the topic itself is great. Pretty much just like humans are constantly, like whether you realize it or not, just like a day away from just like complete death, whether in like 100 different ways, whether it's like famine or war or an asteroid. But I don't even know if any of those were in the book.
Yeah. No,
Like I can't remember anything about it, so I just felt like
it's
impact wise, it didn't have enough of an impact. And I think it's an interesting enough topic that it should have had an impact.
yeah. I think expectation versus reality of being like a book about all the times that like humanity was almost wiped out by like
Yes.
war or
Yeah.
even back when it was like
Spanish flu or
yeah,
cholera or
like Mongolians or
yeah.
whoever, like super
Yes.
old things.
Yeah.
Could have been like a home run and it wasn't. So like
And
that kind of missed
do
the
you
ball.
remember it? Like I don't like I struggled like with some of these books I looked at and I was just
He
like
has a
I
very
don't
distinct voice.
yeah.
Which is interesting. But like our top rated book in our want to read
Yeah.
is this guy,
Oh
which is
really?
interesting.
In
It's
what?
like the ghost of Celtic. Like this guy Dan Carlin has, which I've never
Okay.
seen, has like either a documentary series or like a YouTube of
I
like
had
these like
heard of the name.
history
Yeah.
things. And he's really popular, I think,
Yeah.
and he does good stuff. I think maybe we just picked one that wasn't as good.
Or
Like I
maybe
think he does like he's done like so
it
many,
was
you know.
also early on. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job with it, but I remember trying to listen to it and listen to it in main, and it just, I don't
Yeah.
remember anything
I remember listening
valuable
here
from it.
when we were pulling Pachysandra and stuff. Like I'd come early in the mornings and
Yeah,
like pull some Pachysandra and put that on.
yeah,
And I think we were listening to it like the same time, very close to around like breath
yeah,
and talking to strangers and stuff. When like we are in a 5 star
yeah,
craze at the
yes.
time, and
But
it's like
doesn't that feel like that should be a 5-star topic?
5 star topic.
Yeah,
5 star potential. I mean, I
yeah.
can't argue with you there. Um, number 8. Now we're really getting into the bottom here. For me, I had this one flipped. Okay. This one's come up already today when we were talking about our top 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be Barbarians at the Gate,
Wow.
and I kind of was thinking like Barbarians. Um, like, is this too harsh on this book? But again, like we saw what you can do with Bad Bloods,
Yeah,
the Nankings, the Chaoses, the Empires of Pains, and such an interesting topic where there's probably awesome stories about the people and the Wall Street bankers that were kind of running the show in the late 80s, early 90s, and it
yeah.
was just kind of like
Kind of missed
blah,
it.
and
Yeah,
it kind of didn't it wasn't super gripping or engaging. It was kind of like, yeah, like they're gonna just keep bidding for like this LBO and like we'll
Yeah,
see what happens. And it wasn't like anything really under the hood about it.
yeah.
So I kind of was like excited about it and then kind of let down, and that's why that's on number 8.
I think that's totally fair. I think that is it fits into that same genre, and it was very, very blah. I think I remember more about it. So like I remember Kravis and his junk bonds, and
Yeah, yeah.
like I remember Johnson and his lavish lifestyle. So
Ross
it's like,
Johnson, yeah,
yeah,
Tom Hill.
yeah. So I think there was elements of it that were good, but I agree. I
Right,
kind of
and
remember
this is
thinking, especially at the end, I remember thinking like there's gonna be something crazy that happens. And that
yeah,
kind of wasn't.
no,
It just
and
kind of like got overbid, and then it was just kind of like
yeah, it's like, all
one
right, we're
group
just gonna be a
backed
company
out, and then
now.
yeah,
And this again, like I did enjoy this book. Like I think, yeah, like I took stuff from it. I learned it was interesting.
yeah.
Like it just goes like how good all the books we've read are. Like it kind of just
But
ends
if
up
you compare
here.
it to like Jekyll Island, which is
Yeah,
kind of along the same lines as far as like
that's
finances
why
and
one's on
money,
one list, one's on the other.
yes, I agree.
Like
I
it's
think
here
it
for a
belongs.
reason, but like it's not like it's different than like up here. Like I didn't hate it. I'm not angry at the author. I think
Yes,
he could have probably dove deeper and found out like what the guys were doing in like the nightlife, or like
yeah,
I'm sure they're doing crazy stuff and like
yeah.
drugs or whatever. It could have been interesting, but
Did talk a little bit about like they were constantly always working and like being like come over to like my front porch and we'll have like whiskey and talk about business for like
yeah,
till like 2 a.m. I did like that.
I like that.
Because I like people drinking whiskey in my books, like at 2 a.m. on the porch.
Talking
Like, that's
business.
what I want to be
That's what
doing.
we're doing.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing right now. We're talking books,
yeah.
business books.
Um, so 8 for me
What I really struggled here.
was the history of the Black Death.
Okay.
And again, I think you're gonna see like a
I,
theme here.
I think we gave that one 3 stars on Goodreads.
Yeah,
And that's why like I kind of started there to pick my like potential.
yes,
So that one I like almost forgot that we've read it.
yeah.
Um,
And I think that's like the theme is great topics, disappointing books. So like
yeah.
Black Death, like you obviously know a little bit about it, but it's like I knew more about like, you know, opium. What were the Sacklers? Like Oxycontin.
Mhm.
Like I knew more about Oxycontin
Going in.
going in than I did about the Black Death, and yet the Empire of Pain shocked me way more.
Hmm.
That and just like was a better book about a topic that I already knew a lot about that I felt like I learned so much more about. Whereas like Black Death, I don't really feel like I walked out of that feeling like I know so much more about it and I can't wait to talk to everyone about it. It was just kind of like more of the same information, very blah. I don't really remember it almost at all now.
Yeah, yeah. I can't fight you on it. It didn't make my top 8 clearly, but yeah, it was a good topic. I remember being really excited for it and being like, yeah, like okay,
Yeah,
it was good. It wasn't like super gripping. Um, it could have been there was room for improvement on it, which
yeah,
I think at this point, like that's where we're kind of splitting hairs.
yeah.
So yeah,
And I think that's the thing that for us going forward, it's like you can find a topic, but then finding the right book is an entirely different story.
I mean, we've read so many books now. Like the low hanging fruit are gone.
Yeah,
Like the breaths and talking to strangers, we read them.
yeah.
Like, and we're just so smart now.
And it's just certain topics where it's like, yeah, like I'd love to learn about, early diseases in the, 1400s, but it's just like, are there any books on that?
Right. It could just be also like, right, there's just not that much information from that time, so it's
Yes.
hard
And if
to
there is a book on that,
really.
yeah. And if there is a book, is that a 5-star
Right.
book written by a 5-star guy? Is James Nestor writing this book?
Yeah, because he's gonna go in and he's gonna do the right things. He's
Yes.
gonna go and do the breath practices as
Yes.
all the
And it's the
people
same thing
and
with movies. It's just like, people become less interested in what the topic of the movie is and who the director is or who the actor
well,
is.
yeah, and also like Empire of Pain. It's like almost real time. Like he can interview the people who are involved.
Yes,
He
there's
can read
more
the
you can do.
emails or the
Yeah.
letters versus like something happened in 1200.
Yes.
You're kind of you're really just guessing.
And
That's the
like so
problem with those older history books.
yes,
So
and some of these things
it's
are
almost like a top like common theme here. It's like these are
yeah,
just older history books, almost all of them,
they are, but they
except
should
for
be so
Barbarian.
much better though.
They should still be better, but like maybe they just can't be if it's that long ago and they just can't like
Like that
I'm
was the
sure
new
that there's some
that was
because
the new
like
one that's like
Nanking was a
there's
long time ago.
yeah, yeah, it was. And they talk about like like when we're talking about like the snake warship in the Ozarks. It's just like that concept. Like
We have
I
to
just
we might have to fast track the
but that's what I
that
mean.
book.
It's just like I keep adding books that talk about that, but it's like that's how we ended up with Book of Witches. Is like
It's
I
hit or
heard a
miss.
concept and I was like, oh, I love this idea. And then I tried to
Right.
look up what are the best books on witches, and for some crazy reason that one came up, and it's like that
Yep.
wasn't the right book for us.
100%. No, you're right.
And I don't know if there is one. Like I don't know if
That's the
there's gonna
thing.
be a good one on that topic.
That's the thing. So we might read the next book about witches, and all of a sudden be like, "This one was pretty good,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you're right.
So again, like I
All right, 9.
I had a top six here again, and the last four, like I had to almost like force books into.
Yeah,
Um, but I think you can make like cases for them to be here.
I agree.
This was another recent book, In Cold Blood.
It's fair.
Um, and again, like I didn't dislike reading it. Like I didn't have trouble getting through it or anything.
Yeah,
I just felt like it did a weird job of like, oh, there's a murder. It's not a
yeah.
mystery at all.
No,
So there's nothing to really wait for.
no.
You're kind of wondering like, oh, okay, so like why did they do it? And then the reason was just kind of stupid, which
It was.
it was a true story, so whatever. So maybe he
Yeah,
could have like flipped it and made it like
the mystery, murder
more
mystery.
mysterious and tied it
Yeah,
all together a little bit. So I just think overall it wasn't like it was just a little bit different than stuff we normally do. Like fiction stuff is normally not our, and this wasn't even fiction, but like
yeah.
normally
True,
not
true
our,
crime.
yeah, not our bread and butter. So I just feel like it didn't like do that much for me besides like give me something to read. But
Yeah,
there's so many good books that like we don't need to like put fillers in.
I
So it's a
agree.
little bit of a filler.
I think it fits into that category too of what you were saying as far as just like old books that like Vin Man was the reason that we added this to the list. He was saying it was like the most famous true crime ever. And we hadn't read any true crime ones. So I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? Let's add a true crime
I was
here.
excited.
What's better than the most famous one ever?
Yeah.
Turns out it sucked, you
Yeah, I
know?
was like, holy shit! Like, what if we get like addicted to these types of books and
Yes.
we just love them? It's
Yes.
just gonna be such a page
Because
turner, and it
I
just
mean, like,
wasn't that.
I love the documentaries. Like the documentaries that I end up watching, I end up loving because
Yeah,
it's like, and they're like must talk about things. Like the Stephen Avery one on Netflix. Like I don't know
those
if you
ones,
ever
those
saw that.
original ones, The Making of a
Yes.
Murderer,
Yeah,
like
making a
those
murder.
were so
It
good.
was like I remember like I
The
was
Robert
watching it.
Durst,
Yeah, I remember I was
God,
watching Making a Murder, and I remember going to one of Kev's basketball games when it was in high school, and there was just like a cop and some other guy talking outside, and I was just like, oh, I wonder what these two guys are talking about. Like, I wonder if this guy's in trouble. They're talking about making a murder, like, and it's just kind of like I don't blame them. Like that documentary was wild. Like you want to talk to
so
anyone about it.
good.
So I'm hopeful on that topic going forward that I do think there'll be some true crime and
Yeah,
documentary-esque ones that'll be great.
twists and more twists and turns. I think is what you want in
Yes,
those.
but
Like
that was
finding
like
out information as you go,
yes,
not like up front.
but that was a terrible book, terribly written, just not as good as
It could have been.
yes.
Yeah.
For me, number
I'm
9.
very interested to see what you have as your last two here. Okay, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
hard to read, but
I thought, okay,
you thought that was gonna be higher for me. It easily could have been Dark Matter.
yeah. I'm not that
Um,
surprised actually, given what we have here. I'd say maybe I would have thought you had it at like seven.
yes, like this is the line for me,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
that's
could
right.
have I could have easily had that
That's right.
there. You know what put it ultimately there was I remember it. Like, and I remember like
Yeah,
Jason texting Jason in the group chat and saying like, and
yeah.
just like the funny parts that you were saying that this guy's like trying to stop himself from banging his wife, like really is very amusing.
Yeah,
But even like the first part of the book, I enjoyed listening to it. So like as much as I was mad at it, and as much as I went to that meeting, just like I went into the meeting like hot about the book.
yeah.
Like I was not happy about it,
I remember.
but I think it was more because like I think that I loved listening to it and I was so mad about the ending of it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like I never struggled to put that book on. I was listening to it in the shower, I was listening to it at the gym. Like it was a really easy, good book to listen to, and I wanted to find out what happened. I think I was just so mad about the last 2 hours of the book were just like the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen. Like it was like started with the Jason talking to Jason and ended with like I don't even know how it ended. It ended like all the
there was a
Jasons
hundred Jasons
agreeing.
in a room. They all agreed
Yes.
to let the one Jason who like happened to be the main guy, like you're
Horrible.
the best Jason, even
Yeah.
though it was like some of
Yes.
them were like
They all
identical
thought
by
they
like
were the same
a
Jason.
second. Like one just picked up a fork one time
Yes.
because like every
Yes.
action split a universe.
Yes. So like
Um,
the ending of it was absolutely atrocious, and I
mhm.
think that kind of sometimes can ruin sci-fi books, and that was kind of a sci-fi
It's
book that I think was ruined by the ending.
yeah, and
But the book itself wasn't that bad.
I can't fight you on it. I had it on like my bubble of, and I'll do a spoiler. It's not my number 10,
Yeah,
but I had it on my bubble
yeah,
of books that like I can maybe make a case to put into the bottom 10 and like get away with it.
yeah.
But I was thinking of like it's one of the books that I was like most locked
I
into
agree.
in terms
Yeah,
of like
which is why it is where it
I
is for
remember
me.
having it on the Kindle and being like I could go to sleep or like read another chapter and like
Yeah,
I would read another chapter, like
yeah,
read two more and like that
yeah.
doesn't happen a lot.
I agree. Which
Um
is why I think, like, again, it goes to, I think we haven't done many nonfictions. And even the nonfictions
yeah.
that we've done have been very, like, almost historical. That was the first one that we read that was
Mm.
just, like, unrelated to
Sci-fi.
nothing,
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I think there's a show about that is based on the book,
I
which I
think
haven't
there is
looked
on
at.
Apple. I've seen it.
I'm not
Like, I haven't seen the show, but I've seen
yeah.
the
Um
trailer.
so like I just couldn't justify putting a book I like really enjoyed reading
Yeah,
into a bottom 10, but like I can't fight against because the beginning was so great. Like the first
yes.
twist,
I agree. Like the
the
box that you go
universe
into.
hopping
Yes.
that he did was cool, and
Yeah,
then it kind of just gets off the rails when all
it does.
there's 100 of him,
Yeah.
all in like one place, just like hanging out, like waiting for him to get there.
And it's
Like
a genre I hope we go into more. And I feel like Call, honestly, next week
he
would
might
be
have
the guy
good
to talk
suggestions
to.
on
Yeah. Because I feel like he's big into that genre. I know he's a
right.
bit of a sci-fi guy.
Like this one scared us from England, but this one did not scare me from
The
sci-fi.
genre, I
Like
totally
I
agree.
would go back to that with confidence.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to get into it again, and it's just a testament to how many good books we have that we're putting good books in the bottom 10,
Yeah. I think the
essentially.
coolest thing too is like a lot of these shows and movies now are being written off of books. So it's like if you don't want to wait for the next season or a show doesn't get continued, then you could just switch the books, which
Yeah,
is like not even something I ever even considered or knew about until we started reading books. So like recently I watched like The Outsiders on HBO and I kind of enjoyed it even though I thought it was a weird ending. And then I was like, did it get another season? Because I saw it was based off like a Stephen King book. And then it didn't get another season.
but he wrote
However,
another second book.
doesn't matter. There's two more books. So like now I'm reading the hard copy of like the second book in that series. So it's like,
Just on your own without me.
I mean, I have to. It's like side project. Can't put you through that. But no, I think it is like it's a cool thing that you can do that type of stuff because yeah, I mean, reading books, man. Like,
I never would have thought
yeah,
if you told me when we were playing beer pong 15 years ago that one
yeah.
day we'd be in the backyard with the chart writing our top 10 books on
Yeah.
a piece of
A
paper.
top 10 and a bottom 10. If you're like, I was like,
I've
there's
never
no,
read
you
10.
can't read.
I've never
Yeah.
read 10 in my life combined.
Total.
Which brings me to number 10. And I struggled with this, but this one is on your list. And is always near.
Okay.
And same reasons that you had. Um, it just could have been better. It should have had more impact.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily like bad or I hated it at the time,
Yeah.
but just kind of looking back at the whole scope of things that we have,
Totally.
like, you know, it's just going up against a lot of competition. And I think this guy, Dan Carlin, has a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
So I think he's better than this. And I think next thing we read from him, I'm excited for because I think it has the
Same.
potential to be good.
And if we do read like his next thing and it is really good, I wouldn't even be opposed to going back and listening to that again or reading that again and being like, did I just
Do we
maybe it was
miss it?
too early? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
were we not ready for it?
yeah.
That's a big thing.
Because I mean, when you think about it, I think that's when we go back to the top 10 for a second, but it's like the Gladwell thing is like you almost have to give Gladwell a ton of credit that it's like he took a non book reader, book listener, and all of a sudden be like, whoa, books are
That's
cool.
big.
Which is
That's
why I think
big.
that makes the top 10.
Yeah. I actually have no idea what you're gonna pick because everything even on my bubble or on my list are out there right now. So this is something I like wasn't even considering, I think, in my bottom 10.
Oh, really?
Unless I'm
It's on there. It's on your list.
oh, God damn it. All
Yeah.
right. I thought it was gonna be like completely left field.
No, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
cool boy.
I forgot you didn't have the one on. Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it.
So I think yeah, same thing that we had said previously, which is genre great, book itself sucked. I thought the writer did too much of like just talking about stupid shit in a stupid way where you just be like, and he was as cold as like, a tumbleweed blowing through a full desert day. And it's just like, we don't need that.
A lot of
Like this guy
description.
murdered 7 people for absolutely no reason. Like let's just stick on that topic. Then I was also just like really disappointed that I thought it was gonna be like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And they were just like we talked about originally when we did the pod, which is like you get to like the 10th page and he's like, and this guy wouldn't know it, but this is gonna be his last day, like tucking his daughter into bed. And then it was just like cut right to the two murderers, and it was like they were out in Mexico doing this, and it was just like,
It's just okay, you know they're gonna die, and you know
yeah,
who did it, which
yeah,
is the two biggest
which is
parts.
crazy, like 10 pages into the book.
Yeah, I think it would have been better, even if you know the Clutters are gonna die, because obviously the book's about that.
Yeah,
If you dragged out their life essentially
yeah,
longer, you'd get
yes,
more connected. But instead, it was just like they're dead instantly. You're like, okay, like
yeah,
I don't know them.
yeah,
You don't like build a connection with that character, and then they die, and you're like,
yeah.
like what?
I know. And it was also just like a weird that that was like the most famous murder and all that stuff. It's like, were there not murders before this? Because like that seemed like relatively mundane. Like I know they got no money.
Just like a regular like
Yeah,
Saturday.
but they just like murdered a random family in the middle of the country. Like I would think that happens all the time. Like
Yeah,
there's no police up there. And like for just a family to be murdered by two random like
I think.
former prisoners, like isn't that shocking?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think maybe because like it they had no reason to murder them. Like there
Yeah,
was
but is
no
that
motive, which I think adds like for the people in the town makes it scary because they're like, oh, like this could really happen to anyone. So I think
yeah.
that was part of it, and like it was
But you
pretty
compare
brutal.
it
Like
to
he
like
just
chaos.
shotgun right to the face, like four different
True.
people, and they're
But
all
it's like
tied up in their
you
house.
compare it to
But
like
like,
chaos, and
but
you think about like, and you think about like,
a lot of
yeah.
neighbors
But if you
actions.
think about like chaos, and you think of like Charles Manson, like Charles Manson's probably the most famous murderer of our generation, and it's just like that's a murder with some wild backstory.
For
It's like these
sure.
people are living in this like little commune. They're all murderers. They're taking drugs all day. They're singing
Yeah.
songs like
Yeah.
the FBI, like the CIA set up on them, and the FBI, like there's just like 100 different things in that
This
Manson book that are like fascinating. That these people are like off the grid. Turns out like these two guys that murdered the entire family, like one was just a pedophile, like a garden variety pedophile,
yeah.
and the other was just like a garden variety like criminal with a bad
Like schizo,
history.
like
Yeah,
bipolar or
yeah,
something. Yeah, I think he could have made the murders themselves like half the book
yeah.
because like they're tying up
I know.
the people. It could have been
Yeah,
really intense, like really scary.
yeah,
They're tying up the daughter, the mother's in one room, the daughter's in the other room,
yeah,
but dad's downstairs. Like what's going on from their perspectives? Like you could
yeah.
have made that really
But it
good,
was like
and he just it was like one line.
it was, and like every part that I thought was gonna be surprising wasn't like what I thought that it was going to be. Like I thought the
Mm.
trial was going to be like they might get out. Like they actually don't have any evidence against these two guys, and like even
Yeah.
though they told this one guy that they were going to do this, like that's their only evidence, and like they're going to get out. And it was like the trial, like the first thing he says, like everyone knew they were going to prison. It was just a matter of like whether they were getting the death penalty, and like they
Yeah.
had pretty much already admitted to it. And then it was just
Yeah,
like,
they
all
both
right, so
confessed. It's
yeah,
like okay.
so it's just like, all right, the trial
Yeah, like, do we
itself,
need a
like,
book
yeah,
about this? Like, if
yeah.
it's just a crazy story, like a newspaper
It
article,
is,
maybe it would have
yeah.
been better.
The best part of that entire book was the very ending of it with like the death row and
Yeah.
and just like
No,
certain
obviously, I
elements
can't
of it.
argue with you, given I had it
Yeah,
even higher in my bottom
I know.
10. Um,
I think we've said this before, but I think for the most part we are on the same.
I'm surprised how in line we were. I think these lists are almost exactly the same, except for like I have barbarians where you have Black Death.
Yeah,
And like I even considered Black Death for a second. I didn't because we had I think a 3 stars on Goodread, and I was
yeah.
like, again, I was like, it's a good topic. I remember like whatever.
The corporate fraud was interesting though, and I remember more from Barbarians. It might have just been we met read it more
I
recently,
think that
but
played a role too for
yeah,
sure. But other than that, like our top sixes, I think are in line.
it's like it's funny. Like these two, the end is always near and Black Death. It's like they're on there because I just like don't remember anything from them.
Yeah, but
A,
that's their own fault,
a little bit,
because
yeah,
some of our first books are top two, three,
yes.
4.
Whereas like these two, I remember everything from them, and remember hating them.
But
But I
like
still
that
remember.
make in a
Yeah,
way that makes it good
it does.
because then you're like engaged and it's causing you to feel something, which
Yeah.
we're not always feeling things. So it's good if a
And
book
then
can
the
do
bottom six, I think we're totally on the same page, and they're absolute horrible, shitty books.
it.
And the authors should be really embarrassed that they wrote those.
Yeah, at least the top two for sure. The rest, you could debate what their intent was at least.
Yeah, I think Book of Witches can get passed because we're talking about 1908.
Yeah. I had a few discussion questions. I think we might have covered them.
Yeah,
My first discussion question was going to be if you had to recommend one book to someone, what would it be?
it's a great question.
We
Um,
should probably flip this
yeah, I did
we
take
can't
that.
beat the tapes.
It is one piece of tape though.
But
Maybe could rip it off, but so like if I had to recommend one book, I think that's why I think I had Breath one, and I think that's why I had Breath one instead of two. Is that would be the book that I would recommend. Like if I don't
like if
think I could
someone's starting,
recommend,
like, hey, I want to start my book club.
yeah, it's like
What book should I
hey,
read?
yeah, like I just found out reading books
Hard to
is
argue
actually
against.
really fun and really cool, and I'm really interested. Like, what book should I read first?
Breath.
I would say Breath.
Yeah.
And then Untethered Soul, I had to put two just because of, like we said, impact on my own life and your own life. That's a book club must read,
Yeah.
but also not a crazy. That wouldn't go up really high in recommendation.
I think that's the thing there. It's like it should be, but the people who need it the most, I'd like almost recommend it the least. Because if someone was like depressed,
Unless they
or
came to you and asked for it.
yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
But if I was like, hey, you're depressed, you need to read this book and
yeah.
you're gonna feel
Like,
better,
hey, you're miserable. You're always complaining about stuff. Like, you should read Untethered
it's
Soul.
not gonna come
Nothing.
off good.
Nah.
So like that would be really person dependent. So I think for
Yeah.
me, I would go Talking to Strangers
Would be
would be my
two.
number one recommend, just
Really?
because it's so broad and
It's a Gladwell.
it's the Gladwell, it's gripping, it's engaging. If you
Yeah.
listen to audio, he has like
Which is so
music in
crazy that
there.
that was our first book
It
that we
just
ever
kind
read.
of like fully gets you into
Yes.
books.
It's like the
And
number
then
one
right
book.
after is Breath.
Yeah.
Then it's like, hey, you like books? Because Breath to me
I
is
guess
like
you're right. If someone's
someone might
never read a
hesitate and
book,
be like, it might be hard for them to start and be
I
like,
don't
why am
even
I about
think
to
so.
open a book called Breath? For some people,
Yeah.
because they would try to fight it. But I, and again, like this is one and two.
Yeah.
We're splitting hairs
I
here.
think your rationale almost though might be that it's like you don't think they're ready for Breath yet.
100%. 100. Like
Like for the first book, you don't even want to like ruin Breath by giving them Breath for the first
before
book.
they are, I know they
Ready.
can.
Yeah.
Like I think Talking to Strangers is that
You can't miss it.
right, all
Yeah.
encompassing and gripping for anyone
I
that
agree.
I think like I have a hard time thinking of who might not like Breath, Talking to Strangers.
Yeah.
I can think of people who would not like Breath just because they're like haters or would want to hate on it. Like Talking to Strangers, I don't even think you can pretend to hate,
Yeah.
no matter who you
Yeah. I agree. Um,
are. My second discussion question, similar topic, of course,
yeah.
is if you had to recommend one podcast episode of ours
Yeah.
to someone, be like, hey, I want to start your podcast. What episode should I listen to first?
So that actually works out great because I've been listening to a bunch of old episodes this week because I finished all my books for book club. I honestly think I think our most recent one was maybe the best, and I do think we get like progressively better every time.
I don't know person discussion. I think
Yeah,
I was remember laughing when I was
yeah.
re-listening. I remember laughing a bunch.
Like I
That would
thought,
be up there for sure.
yeah. And I've like,
And even another recent one would be Jackal. So I think we did a good job of explaining
yeah,
the Jackal Island stuff. So if you don't feel like committing to the whole book, that one is like
yeah,
you can get a lot of the summary from it and a lot of the type of key points from it if you're trying
yeah,
to like that's one I would re-listen to just to remind myself of how everything
yeah.
works because I forget.
And that's what's funny is I think we are getting better whether we realize it or not, and better in the sense of like,
There's some other good ones. Like
yeah,
what is probably hilarious. Like that one was History of the World in Six Glasses and
yeah.
What is the What? I think that was probably a good one.
I did listen to that. I don't think I did this week, but I listened to that when we put it out, and I remember cracking up a bit. I like the call one as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, of
Like having
course.
a guest and having a third
First 20
person.
minutes of it
Yeah,
being a draft of beers.
yeah.
Just I turned some people off, but
Um,
I think
but
there was
yeah,
one other. I'm gonna have to look at our list that I
well,
thought was like we did. I mean, we're just tooting our own horn right now, but
yeah. But nobody's gonna get to this point.
yeah, if you're, I mean, chances are this none of this recorded, which
Yeah.
I feel like I always say, and it always works. And one time, it's not gonna work.
Is there anything in your top 10 that you feel like you have to like really justify, maybe besides for Steppenwolf?
I think the only one. These are all good. These are all good. It's our podcast. I think for me,
I think you
the
can't even see like what one is. Like that says Brett,
you have U5, which is
and
supposed to be
that's
Untethered Soul.
says untethered soul backward.
Uh, like for me, it would be a liberated mind.
Yeah,
But I think it's been so long since we read it. But I think especially if it was fresher in my mind, I think I can make like a really good case why it should be there in terms of like positive life impact on making me like just a better person.
yeah.
And that's why I made it.
It's funny too. Like this episode, I think is just like amusing to me that it's like we didn't need to do this at all. But I'm
No one asked
also
for it.
nobody's asking for it. Nobody's gonna listen to it. Like the only way you could really even understand an episode like this is if you've tuned into all of the previous episodes, which I don't think anyone other than
And,
me or you
and read the
has.
Substack.
Yeah,
And the problem is we probably wrote about some of these, but a lot of these were before we even
started
had the
writing it.
Substack. Like
Wow.
Unread Soul, Fucking Strangers, and Breath for sure.
And we know
That's
no
top
one was
three.
reading the Substack.
We know that based on the
Yeah,
facts.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we did this because I do think it was good for me, and I do think we can look at maybe some of our ratings in Goodreads and like come up with some maybe alternate things because I think like for me, this one, this one, and obviously that one's the same. Uh, I think like really have 5-star potential.
I think they should all be fives.
Yeah.
Now that we've read a lot of books, like we understand what a five is.
It's like really hard to have bad blood that like we both put in our top 10, not even being like it's a 4-star. We both had it at 8. And even like Nanking was on my like really tough. So like originally, and I'll even show you, originally it's a back workout. Don't check that out.
That's what I want to see. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I'm
So
having trouble with my back workouts.
originally I put Industrial Society as 10, just because I wanted that in my top 10, but I hadn't really gone
Mm,
through all the books yet. And then I was just like, well, Empire of Pain, that has to be in there as well. So like I crossed that off and I crossed that off when I realized like when I did the rest of my list and all of a sudden like there was books not in the list, like Rape of Nanking, Lost Connections, and Chaos, and I was like, I think I need those in my top 10.
it's crazy that anything that missed our list was in each other's bubble.
It
Like it
was.
would have been if we did top 15,
Yeah.
like those three would have
Would
been
have been
11
in
and
it.
12 and
Yeah.
13 or whatever.
And it's funny, even like some of the ones that I would have thought I was higher on and you were lower on, I think we were like really in the
Are there
same
any
spot.
surprises in mine that you thought
Yeah.
was like
So like Steppenwolf, I didn't even think you'd have in your top 10. I thought
really?
10. I thought the first one was gonna be Steppenwolf 10.
I thought like I was gonna have it a 3 at a certain point. I was like
Wow.
onto the solo breath Steppenwolf, and I was like, you know what? I have to give Talking to Strangers its due
You have to,
because
yeah.
sometimes we forget about how good it
The
was.
top three really, I think, ended up being a top three, and rightfully so.
It's the locks.
Yeah, I could have Turtle, Steppenwolf, Jekyll, Moth, Bad Blood, Empire Print, like all the way up to 14. I could have seen.
You couldn't flip and make arguments.
Yeah, like if you
Top
had
three
Rape of
has to be.
Nanking at 5, I wouldn't have thought that that was that crazy.
Yeah, no, it's that good.
And if I had Chaos at 5 and you didn't even have it on your list, I don't even think that would have been that crazy.
I thought you were gonna have chaos at like 8.
I should have.
It's again, it's that good.
Yeah,
Like it deserves to be top 10.
but I
It's
couldn't
hard.
take off these two because I loved them.
They're so good.
And I really did weirdly want Industrial Society in my top 10.
I had it in my bubble.
Yeah,
Like I had it
same.
as the Industrial Society, Empire of Pain, Monster and Iron Lung,
Yeah,
Chaos are my 4 cuts
yeah,
that I made it, and they were painstaking cuts.
yeah.
That was, you know, mulling over for days.
All right, end it here because I maybe got to pay.
Yeah, I got to P2. We'll end it here. Maybe we got to figure out next books, and
We'll see you next weekend. I think we're back to back this weekend.
yeah,
It's
we
been
gotta
a while.
see, we
This
gotta
was like
lock
3 weeks.
we gotta lock in
Yeah,
and see and get everything else scheduled and see. So I want to get these 2 books done and pick the next 2
yeah,
and keep it rolling. But thank you for listening, everybody. Hope you like the top 10. Highly recommend the ones we said that we
yeah.
highly recommended.
Don't read the bottom 10.
Don't read those, and have a good day.
Peace.